Still being very careful indeed, respecting the catch from Bat.
It's just tough because the double saves. Mickey, he's at the ready. His BKB is up in 4 seconds.
It's the mid-rack's gone. Liquid.
Final set.
They'll tick off another objective, and they're ready to keep it going. 30 seconds, they know there's no Quinn.
It dies so fast. They gotta look to go on the side of Gaimin. They can't just watch these racks go the Megas.
Tofu is gonna try with the grab, the disruption comes in immediately. They try desperately, Gaimin Gladiators is here to fight for this fight. The hand of gold comes down, but it won't save Ace. Ace, he's out. He has buyback available. Duracho tries to sneak back to the safety of the fountain. He'll get back, but the racks are gone. Liquid have claimed the Mega Creeps.
29 minutes Megas. Good luck coming back from that one versus this type of lineup, and I don't think Liquid's gonna look to get out of the base. They still got 30 seconds to keep the push going.
They know that they can get so much done
They
here.
call it.
Oh, they do. GG is called. Liquid. I mean, what a phenomenal game one. Considering what happened in the opening moments and in some of those lanes, when they started to turn it, Liquid, there was no looking back, folks.
I think they really started to identify quite quickly, I mean, pretty much all around that bottom fight, that they needed to just have the numbers at the ready. When they started TP reacting with multiple heroes, that's when it was a bit of a problem, because Gaimin was getting these number advantages. But that time, they had Boxy. You see the man on your screen right there.
I gotta say, yeah.
The drinking buddies pulls, resets the fight, and then the dive. You can see Gaimin trying to push forward for it, but multiple different saves coming out from him with the snowballs, drinking buddies, shards, etc. That was beautiful.
Yeah,
Liquid.
hey, incredible stuff across the board. Boxy and Insane with the saves. In a game against Ricky that was getting kind of out of control those opening minutes, it didn't matter. They still found the chance to get these incredible saves occurring. The damage out from the 33 and Mickey and Nisha making it quite the comeback story that game on his puck. What a game one. Liquid, they'll take the first of this best of 5.
Game one of this best of 5 goes the way of Team Liquid. A lot to break down with this one, and I want to start with the double support duo coming out from Team Liquid. T-Gov, it was a stellar performance.
No, just the moves that are making the saves again. Shadow Demon, he is one of the supports of the tournaments, right? If you have the positioning, you keep finding the save, you push them forward. But Liquid in this game, it was incredible. They're under so much pressure. A couple key fights, the turnaround, and they just, obliterated Gaming so quickly. It feels like it was like one tier 1 fight into there is no map for Gaimin to play.
I mean, Gaimin played a really incredible early game. I love to see the hyper-aggression coming out of both teams. They really took advantage of their defusal, Ricky timing, hunting for Furion deep in the jungle, killing Puck a few times over and over again. But this fight here is where this game was entirely different, and we saw the power of Tusk here. He actually tag team pulled out Nisha's Puck from that smoke cloud, making it so that he was alive for long enough to cast the coil later on here, which is where they got the turnaround fight. And then we just saw all of the damage coming out through Visage's Soul Assumption, through Mickey on his Nature's Prophet, who was joining every single fight as early as he could. It was just beautifully played.
They needed all the auras early on so they can take the fights. Visage, he's getting all the money in the world. If you look at the network chart, he's always top 3, top 2 here already. Some really nicely placed shards from Boxy. He's playing out of his mind. This drinking buddy is pretty much acting as a force staff, and you can also use it on birds, so the birds go brrr pretty much every single fight. And the coil has been something that they didn't have any tools to deal with, because Ricky, yeah, he's annoying, but the problem always was with the hero that how do you get to your BKB timing? Like, sure, you're having a good time, you did solo kill him in the mid lane, but after that, you can feel him suffer. And itemization-wise, they were really on point for Team Liquid. This force staff on Puck, forces out of the cloud, knowing that he needs to itemize for himself. Ricky had the shard at that moment, so others can't really use any of the abilities, and after that, the game was pretty much done so.
Yeah, and Liquid identified that after that fight, the game was theirs. They made a beautiful play where they cut off Duracho trying to join his team in the triangle, killed him first. They snowballed off of that, and they realized that this was their game at that point. All they had to do was bring their heroes together, place some sentries, and there's nothing Gaimin could do. That is the issue with Ricky. While he is very snowbally, he's also very reverse snowbally, because once you've itemized against him and his net worth is low, there's really not that much he can do. And we also saw the power of Tusk not just as the pseudo save, as the pseudo force staff, but the tag team, the drinking buddies damage on the Prophet. He was out DPSing the Crimson Guard on Underlord. Underlord looked so squishy in this game.
And it was a slippery slope for Gaimin, right? When you have Ricky and CK as your position 1 and 2, if you're not finding pickups on the map, if you're not dictating the pace of the game, your enemy balls up, can't find pickoffs because they're always going to be 5. And I think that's where Liquid, they identified that very quickly as it hit kind of like the 20-minute mark. And then, sure, Quinn might have some laning advantage, Duracho might have an early Orchid, but that's all they've got. They're hoping for a pick. It felt like the last 10 minutes of the game was just Liquid sweeping through the map, finding whoever they want, and Gaimin was never really in position to utilize like the blink from the bat, the jump of a CK. And again, it's testament to Liquid. They itemize, they identify a window, and when they want to break their opponent, and they did it so swiftly.
Yeah, and we knew that Gaimin was ahead at like minute 15. But Lacoste, was their plan to be even further ahead? Where did they fall with their plan?
I saw Tofu diving 3 or 4 towers 8 minutes in, so they wanted to play this hyper aggressive, which I don't really mind. I think this is how you need to strike back against Team Liquid. But the problem was, I'm gonna go back to Ricky. This is super strong hero, but that's why everybody practiced it. But it has some of the flaws still, where you're unable, like if you get focused down. And I also want to highlight the Shiva's guard, the bongo boots, the boots of Varying from Visage. I think this is the key moment as well for the game. You're playing against CK, so you want to slow down his illusions. You really never felt those illusions dealing damage, fighting into all of that. And I said during the draft, they don't have the Shiva's hero. You know what Visage does? Buys Shiva's as the second item, buying all these small items to be on top of the network pretty much. Bracer, Null Talisman, Boots of Varying, so they can strike back. He understands that they need any kind of item they can have early on to punch back, because they're playing so fast on Gaimin first 10-15 minutes.
Yeah, and you see the items that 33 has. I think, strategically, I think Gaimin coming into this game 1, they put such a large target on Nisha's back. They wanted to shut him down, they wanted to kill him very early, try and prevent him from having a game, that they kind of forgot about applying the pressure to Mickey or to 33. Right, like Nisha, he doesn't die too often in series, right? Like when you think about like the previous run in playoffs, like he's been like the unkillable mid laner because people focus other, the strategies of 33 in the early game. But coming into this one, Nisha, in the last 6 playoff games, totaling, he only has 10 deaths. The fact that he's died 4 times in a single game shows that Gaimin wanted to shut him down. But maybe going into game 2, they're thinking, wait a second, we're wasting too many resources killing the mid lane. 33's hit, like Lacoste was mentioning, the Boots of Varying, the Shivas, Mickey's got the Gleipnir, the BKB. I think Gaimin maybe have a misread on who they need to shut down, because it doesn't matter if Nisha dies 4 times, nearly 50% of the entire playoffs run, you need to stop 33 from just breaking open the game on these tempo heroes from the offlane.
Yeah, there was a lot of freedom coming out for the other 2 cores of Team Liquid there, Effie.
There was, but there was pressure on them, because once Ricky got that defusal, we saw them scouting for Nature's Prophet in the jungle. We saw him getting lassoed a few times. We saw Quinn on that Ricky hunting anyone he could see, no longer focusing on just the puck. The issue with Gaimin is that Ricky kind of tied their entire draft together in the sense that you have this Bat Rider, you have this jump target, this jump hero in CK. If the Shadow Demon on the enemy team
you guys
or the
want to
Tusk
take your
are
webcam
able to
quality
cast their
from
spells to
this
save them,
to
your
this.
initiation is
We'll look
broken.
no further.
You have no
Use
means
it.
to fight back.
How do you install
and
it?
once Ricky got to the point where his game was too difficult, there was nobody stopping the 2 saves from the supports. If Ricky kept his dominance, kept jumping the supports, we would have seen
similar options here for these 2. Just be aware of that. You can't use it for everything. Okay, so we'll just close out of this, jump over to OBS. So here,
NVIDIA graphics card. If you don't have an AI powered home studio, in order to download NVIDIA Broadcast, we're going to go to nvidia.com/broadcast.
Filters, and here we'll see noise suppression. So to add a noise suppression filter, you just press the plus, and it's selected from the list. So here, then you will get a option under method. So here are your options. This one here is one of the best. I usually leave it on max, works really well. However, there is an issue here that you might come across crashing. So if you select this and OBS crashes, I've got a guide for that link in the description. So check that one out. It's a little bit more complicated than we cover in this guide, but check that one out if you have any crashing. It will solve your problem perfectly. But otherwise, that wraps up.
And if we scroll down just a couple of inches, we're going to see your AI-powered home studio. And we're just going to click that download button. Looking in NVIDIA Broadcast, if we go ahead and open up the Elgato virtual camera, that's going to be the name of my camera. But there's going to be multiple options. But if I go to the Elgato virtual camera, this is going to give me the ability to work with the output out of my Elgato app and NVIDIA Broadcast. And then I can pull that into OBS. We can go ahead and set our formatting size. Typically, you're going to want to put this on the or auto face background here blue. its quality pretty good. The one exception to this is going to be, if you're waving your hand around fast, sometimes it can't keep track of where your hands are. And then if you look over here, it's actually at a really high blur, it's working very well. But, if I cut it down to, halfway, you're going to start to see some stenciling around my fingers where it's not, perfect. Here on this side is improvement, a little blurring, and trail mix here that we're going to use as a little bit of a represent. Warning the head blur. Let's take a look at the audio noise removal effect. Warning the headphone users, I do have a nice bag of trail mix here that we're going to use as a little bit of a representation to see how this performs. So right now I've got this bag of trail mix. I've got the noise removal off. Headphone users beware. We can all hear that, right? Let's cut the noise removal on. Can you hear this over my voice? Can you hear this over my voice? And let me put it down in the background a little bit more. So I'm just gonna go ahead and keep talking right here while I've got this playing in the background, and we'll see how much you can or can't hear. It's not perfect, but better. This is great. Another buzz or hum. That's pretty much going to be it for NVIDIA Broadcast. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you did, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And with all that being said, I will catch you guys next time.
From Gaimin Gladiators. Rubik ban, why didn't they ban Tusk?
Because they wanted to pick Underlord. It's one of the worst matchups when it comes down to heroes. You can solo win the game. You steal Pit of Malice, you steal Firestorm. These are going to be your two best spells. You have better cast range, you have spell amplification on top of that, so a very difficult one, but looking for the adjustments in game number 2, this Tusk, too powerful of a hero, especially for Boxy. I know I'm going to sound slightly biased, but Boxy for me has been the best position 4 player in the world for quite some time. He's doing some insane things every single time with the shards. He's always up to something. Never underestimate this guy.
He was the hero of that fight at minute 17 where Liquid turned the game around. That was all Tusk and his plays. So I do agree with you, Shiver, that Tusk should be banned out and not given to Team Liquid. Boxy just plays that hero too well, and the flex is still there even though we mainly see it being played here. I think that if you're putting yourself in a position where you're first picking Underlord, not allowing yourself to not give away Tusk to Liquid, you have to rethink your opener. Don't open with this Underlord if you are still allowing heroes like Shadow Demon and Tusk through, because you also drafted a Batrider. Batrider is completely countered by saves from the enemy supports.
I think it also goes down to the CK pick, right? Like, sure, you want to get your CK to kill Visage, but then you're bringing the CK to the mid lane to, contain the puck inside the smoke screen, using the flame break from the Batrider as well. Like, you're doing everything to kill puck, but you didn't ever really kill Visage. He died one time in the game. The fact that 22 minutes, 33 has Boots of Bearing and Shivas, your entire plan of win lanes, tempo pickoff falls apart. So for Gaimin to even have a fight in this best of 5, they need to make sure their safe lane can kill off 33. And don't just run to mid lane and kill off Nisha. That is a recipe to lose, and Gaimin need to identify that and hopefully fix that for the upcoming game.
Yeah, so we feel like Gaimin potentially drafted a little bit too one-dimensional, that if indeed the tempo could not continue, which it didn't because Team Liquid put a stop to that, they didn't have anything Lacoste to fall back on in their draft.
They were super strong first like 15-ish minutes of the game. If they continued the domination, the lineup would...
To Team Liquid, Boxy just plays that hero too well, and the flex is still there.
Of the game, if they continued the domination, the lineup would look really good, but they also needed some extra items. They needed, Ricky to have a BKB, which never came down to that. And we see a lot of these lineups that go pretty much all in, where you're strong for like 20 minutes, then you're vulnerable between 25 and 35, maybe 40. That they do fell short, but I wouldn't say there was anything wrong with Gaimin Gladiators lineup. They tried something. It's a BO5. That's a different beast. You want to experiment a little bit more, try to put them in a position where they don't feel too comfortable. role, especially with this last pick, Ricky. And I think we're going to see more of these picks. Maybe not Ricky, but they've been cooking.
They have been
Yes.
cooking. We should also take a look at how the teams have done against the meta thus far, and why we see these two teams going a little bit beyond what you might have seen over the last 2 weeks. Effie, if we focus on Team Liquid, they have had tremendous success against the heroes that a lot of teams would consider to be the meta heroes.
They really have. They've been dominating so much throughout this tournament, so I thought it would be cool if we took a look at the meta heroes that they've beat the most. Mirana, which is the darling from the support role because of the carry flex, they've beat her. She's only beat them 1 time out of 6 games. Dragon Knight, 2 of which were games against Gaimin yesterday. They have beat Dragon Knight 4 times. They beat Timbersaw 4 times. The heroes they've lost to, Kunkka. Kunkka's probably the only hero, when I was looking at all of their stats, that Liquid have struggled against.
Yeah, what you're showing here with the graphic is basically Liquid has lost 2 moments where teams survive the Liquid aggression. If Liquid want to go and try and break the map for 20 minutes, if they're running into a brick wall and they mis-execute, that's when the game can get difficult. But the thing here in this matchup, Gaimin likes to play quick. And unless Gaimin want to change their playstyle in a grand finals, we are just going to see 2 teams clashing into each other to see who breaks the map first to then close out the game. Because if you swap the drafts around, Gaimin will do the same thing. They'll win that 1-tier-1 fight, then they'll just break the map and win the game. So I think, at least for Gaimin, if they can just slot in a couple counter-aggression heroes, it might allow them just a bit more, ease of fight. Because, yeah, with this type of draft, it is so volatile. 1 mis-execution and see ya.
Yeah, this is also a best of 5, which is a whole different beast from what the players have played so far, as they are ready to take the stage again. Game number 2 soon being shown on your screens. I'm sure emotions are high, and all the energy that this Royal Arena has to give, both teams will soak up, because they need it to go head-to-head against each other. And when we're focusing on this second game, we are focusing on the learning curve, which in a best of 5 is a little bit different than in a best of 3 Lacoste. Do you feel like both of these teams, sometimes you have teams like testing the waters, letting a hero through to see if they can play against it?
Absolutely, because you want to have that advantage. You pick something very cheesy in game 1. If it works, they need to make all the adaptation, but you have also other strategies prepared. I would say Team Liquid is in a good hands right now, considering that they only played 5 different heroes from their offlane role and 5 different heroes from their position 4 role. So that means that they have a lot of stuff prepared. They've been winning most of their games. They played every single series in the upper bracket was a 2-0, so they didn't show. They were never had their backs against the wall. That means that they have a lot of different heroes they can still play, but they're not going to change anything because for now it is working.
But that also means that 10 unique heroes from their offlane in Boxy and 33 should make it so that they are easier to focus within a draft. And that really does go back to the supports that Gaimin went through. I think that if you can limit the hero pool of 1 out of the 2 in that offlane duo, you're making the draft and the game much easier on yourself.
So, yeah, who are you going to focus on? If you had to choose, pick your poison, T.
There's what, 5 types of poison you have to take, but I'd argue maybe because they have such a small pool, you know what's coming every single time, so find safe lane combinations that can at least play into it, right? Like Dyrachyo, he's played, of course, Alchemist, but it's getting banned out. I think like Razor's going to be pretty good for Dyrachyo if you can pressure in lane. If you push back 33, I just want Celery and Dyrachyo to have kill threat. If kill threat independently is available, that's when the twin gate gets opened up. You then make moves, and I think that's what maybe Gaimin was missing a little bit in that previous game.
It could be that they were missing that. We're talking about adaptations being made, and of course it is Gaimin Gladiators that lost that first game, so they will be focused most on making adaptations. And even though Team Liquid won, I do want to focus a little bit on those first 10 minutes, because Team Liquid winning, great, but I'm sure they did not like feeling like they did in those first 10 to 15 minutes, Lacoste. I'm sure they're going to try to avoid that.
Oh, that's for sure. They were 7k goal down in the first 11, 12 minutes. So they will try to punch back. A little bit of a misplay. Sometimes it does happen. Nisha solo dying to Ricky, underestimating. I'm not sure if he played as many times this matchup. Casters also talked about it. They didn't see it in a really long time. So sometimes these forgotten heroes, you tend to be surprised by what they can do, especially with the small buffs throughout the last couple of months that did happen.
I think that's a hero that they will think about for sure, especially if they get Nisha that puck in this game too. I would not be surprised at all to see Ricky banned out in that final phase, because even though Gaimin did lose, they showed their hand there. Like, that was an incredibly dominant first 15 minutes. And for Liquid, they just did a great job at bouncing back. The two heroes they had on their side lanes, Nature's Prophet and Visage, are just very good money printers. Visage, with a couple of kills, any comeback fight is just topping the net worth. Nature's Prophet, when he gets kicked out of lane, he has that ability to just be anywhere he needs to be. The enemy jungle, his jungle, he can find the farm. So I think that Liquid at the moment are feeling very good about themselves looking into that game too, and they're not going to make any gameplay adjustments, just draft adjustments.
Yeah, I could see a world where Gaimin respect the Nature's Prophet a little bit more, put that into the ban phase. Maybe even we see the Naga Siren that's been banned pretty much in every single game of TI. That might slip through in one game, just to put a little bit more respect on 33.
And you think it will slip through in favor of who?
Probably Liquid will be picking it up.
They will be picking it up?
Potentially.
Okay, we'll see. I don't know if Naga Siren will make an appearance, as this is the most dominant hero that we've seen over the last 2 weeks. But we're going to find out what is coming our way for game number 2.
Team Liquid versus Gaimin Gladiators. Grand Finals, Game 2.
What is coming our way for game number 2, Effie?
I got a little too excited there, Stever, but for Gaimin, I think that they really do need to give Dyrachyo a hero with a better timing. The reason why these semi-carry ranged heroes like Windranger, like Lina, have been so popular is they get that Gleipnir timing and then they have kill threat around the map. If all of this damage is happening in the first 15 minutes, you want to carry that within that time can take advantage of it economically and be able to join the fight explosively.
If they want to go for a carry, I would not mind to see Windranger for Dyrachyo. If they want to go for a support, Mirana is still available, so they do have a ban into a pick. Either that or take Shadow Demon, because Shadow Demon, played by Tofu, always a treat to watch. This guy making some insane plays, hunting people down.
Well, there is a Naga Siren, and it will be on Gaimin Gladiators side, T-Gov.
Fair play. So the logic of this one was, I feel like this is where, when you get to a grand finals, the heroes that always get banned, they have to appear at some point, because there is like the respect of the game. And here, Gaimin, they have first pick, they ban the Village, the Doom, the Naga Siren's available. I was wondering maybe they could give it to Liquid, pick a hero themselves, but instead, they take it, and Liquid instant response with the Nature's Prophet.
Naga Siren is so hard to play against, though. I mean, she's been banned almost every game for a reason. She has such high armor on lane where she doesn't lose trades. She provides map play with her illusions, where as a position 5, she can push out whichever lane that she chooses. And she has the ultimate reset tool in the game. That Song of the Siren with the Shard it just flips teamfights over their head. And like T was mentioning, we saw that the Kunkka win rate against Liquid is good for that reason. If they can prolong these fights, find that reset, stop that timing of their aggression, kite out the fights, should be good for Gaimin. So I'm surprised this Naga was given away.
I mean, of course, the Facet as well, very strong. With Deluge, you reduce status resistance, you push waves, like we said, with the damage. Like, it is really obnoxious to play into. But there is a world where, like, if the game is too quick, then sure, Naga, she likes a little bit more of a, let me use my song for that one big fight. Let me, get the vision from multiple opportunities to skirmish. If the game's too quick, it's like you're not always gonna have song every single fight. That's why I think Liquid insta-pick their Prophet, because the speed in which they can play with this hero, they can eat through, one ultimate from a Naga Siren. Like, it's not gonna be the worst. That's why I think Gaimin need to respect that inevitable pressure and have more heroes to protect Naga, not having to be the only hero to survive the fight, or at least, disengage from the fight.
Naga is also a hero that can stop some of these pushes while creep cutting, creating those illusions. You cut one creep wave, maybe 2 of them. One of the reasons why the hero is so popular is you get quite a lot of farm. This is one of the most farm-heavy position 5s in the game right now, I would say, and also one of the reasons why this hero is the most contested hero of the International.
And another strength of Naga is Ensnare is such a high value disable at level 1. Like, this hero's kill threat comes online very early on lane. So I'd like for Gaimin to take advantage of this setup with the Ensnare. Like, with one of those Dyrachyo turret heroes, even Alina could be really cool here. Just any kind of follow-up damage to make it so that Naga isn't just a song.
Shadow Demon being picked up. Team Liquid got one of the saving supports again, as we do have to note that once again, Tusk is left in the pool. Gaimin Gladiators have the chance to pick it up themselves if they want to at this point.
Yeah, that's the key thing here. Liquid, they had the option to go for Tusk or Shadow Demon. They have put Shadow Demon a higher priority because of what we've seen it do in the last couple of games. And if Gaimin are to pick Tusk, then they've got double melee supports. Naga can't really find too much pressure on the map. Tusk, it could get a little bit clunky. Hence why I think Liquid hedged their bets, went for the Shadow Demon. If Gaimin don't pick it up, they'll take it themselves.
And also, Shadow Demon is the anti-Ace hero. If you're playing against Ace, he's going to have 1 trillion auras. With the Shadow Demon Purge, you can just remove that on a single target and take them out early.
Yeah, but not in this one. Centaur, he has, with the Stampede, this is the statement. This is not anti-carry. Shadow Demon ulti, we don't care too much about it. Once you pop it, we're going to be able to reset. You also have Naga Siren. So Gaimin Gladiators looking forward to see some of these more prolonged team fights.
And once again, they're respecting what Naga Siren can suffer with because they're picking heroes who, in theory, should be independent, not requiring heroes to help them out. Like Centaur plus ranged hero, when you get Centaur to his first cheap item, you can leave him on an island. He can play by himself. And that's when you make other moves. And Enchantress, how many times have we seen Enchantress just free cast the spells? Impetus constantly, Dragon Lance, Moon Shards. I feel like Snaking, Celery, every +5 at some point has just had an insane game on this hero.
Now, I will say that Naga Siren has been incredibly popular, but mostly as a position 5. And you are also right, it is normally Celery that plays the Enchantress. So which one would you like to see bumped up in priority? As once again, the Tusk in the hands of Team Liquid. So they got the double saving support, and they follow that up with the 33 Bristleback, or Mickey Bristleback.
Yeah, but with this draft that Liquid have crafted, it's skirmish, 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 run at you, run at you, run at you, and there are no stuns on the side of Liquid. So I want to see Gaimin, with this 18 pick, exploit the lack of stuns and go for a Storm or a Puck themselves, something that can have free reign at later parts of this game.
Slight concern potentially for Gaimin. Competitively, Tofu, the last time he played Enchantress was in 2023. Before that was only a game, 2019. He's only got 4 pro games on Enchantress. So it's not as if it's like a specialty for Tofu. And I feel like Naga Siren is always going to be the 5 position. Unless Tofu wants to bump it up in priority. Again, I feel like Naga needs to be the 5, Ench needs to be the 4. But yeah, Tofu's going to be pulling out a hero that he's not too, at least competitively seasoned on.
In that case, you can always just have a support swap. Like, you can have Celery lane bottom. He doesn't necessarily have to go top if you are committing to playing this Naga Siren on Tofu.
Sure. And now the counter-aggression pick with the Puck. You want to try and, prevent that movement from Liquid. My concern here, where is the damage? When Liquid gets to, Bloodstone, Axe on Bristle, and Prophet has his BKB, what stops them from just walking down the lane, hitting the tower with a tree, Tusk and SD saving? There's no real kill threat coming out from Gaimin.
Get that Luna for Duraccio. I mean, you need bonus damage. She provides that damage to the entirety of your team. She's going to be a strong on lane versus Bristleback. And it'll give them that early tempo to play on. Also, like I mentioned earlier, no stuns for the Puck. So I do think that Team Liquid need to draft a failsafe, a means to stop Quinn if his game starts to get out of hand.
I feel like I'd prefer to see a Monkey King type option for Gaimin to take a little bit more fight. I'm worried a Luna is a bit too slow, where after lane you play to the jungle and there's no real map play to be had. Invading stacks, contesting is a key theme for Gaimin, at least in this one.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind seeing some stunners from the mid lane for Team Liquid. Earthshaker definitely comes to mind. You're playing against Naga. There's going to be a lot more illusions. Instant stun against Puck. This is something that they did play once or twice against the same matchup. The other one is Tiny. I think this hero also works because you want to have some extra burst damage when it comes down to the Enchantress. Avalanche, great tool against the Centaur. And also you can toss somebody into the team. Bristleback is not answered yet.
I just realized, Monkey's banned, so well. But that type of hero, and along that line of that type of hero, Ursa banned out as well. We haven't really seen too much Ursa, but they are respecting the thought of, what if this core just blows up our Bristle? If we don't actually end the game in 25 minutes, does it not get pretty scary? And yeah, they're banning out these heroes that have that X factor, that comeback potential. And that is true. Voxy on Tusk is pretty free win.
I like the Earthshaker idea you mentioned, Lacoste, or DK for Team Liquid. Just that stun, that ability to play off of an initiation that doesn't come from your Tusk will simplify the game for Liquid. It will really go a long way.
Well, let's see. They have got still also half a minute left in their bonus time, where they can decide not just what to play, but what their game plan will be. And what the Retro is gonna play. That is the main question. I just wanna get this out. Naga Siren, there's no chance it's gonna play it as core, right?
No, she's not. This is going to be
I just wanted to get it out there.
It's been a long time since Naga has been played as a core.
Another option for Dyrachyo could be the Alchemist. That way they can play the Eng 5 and then just experiment. Okay, the DK does come out. They stole it. They took it away. I think this is excellent. And now they have a carry on Dyrachyo where he just buys Blink Dagger first, which is the item timing we talked about around that minute 15, runs in with his team, has the ability to take the towers, has the ability later on in the game to outscale the Nature's Prophet.
Yeah, this is a good game where there's two types of Dragon Knight, right? You've got the Falcons type Dragon Knight, which is the high-speed Blink Orchid, or you have the scaling Dragon Knight with the Armlet into SMY, and then you're like Daedalus Satanic, and you become the unkillable Red Facet DK. Potentially this time around, I'd like to see him go greedier to become the true core of the game, because if they do go active, they still have damage issues early on, so I'm hoping for at least Gaimin's sake, it does feel like a flip on the script. They aren't going to be the aggressors on the map. It is about how quickly can you scale whilst dealing with Liquid.
What you're describing is some K1.
Yeah, I want K1 level DK. Exactly.
Yeah, because he was staying 5k ahead, and Tiny comes out, a good solution, as we mentioned. Great against Puck in the lane. You'll always have some kind of a stun. Cheap as well. Blink Dagger, this is something that they have been lacking. I see a lot of speed on side of Team Liquid again, and I think they're going to be hitting an earlier timing. Mickey on his Nature's Prophet, double save again. You can make quite a lot of stacks with these heroes, and Team Liquid so far in this tournament has been top 2 teams when it comes down to stacking. You have Tiny who can clear the stacks, and most importantly Bristleback. I think 33 in this one takes priority, because once he gets down to his item timings, you did mention the Aghanim Scepter, the Bloodstone, SNY that's going to follow up later. I think this Bristle has a pretty free entry to the game.
I think we've got Celery on Enchantress. We've seen him excel on that hero. We have Quinn playing versus the one threat of the Avalanche Toss Tiny. This should be a really great puck game if he gets a few support rotations to mid. He's got a bone to pick with Team Liquid. I think Quinn will take this game too.
Dyrachyo has to ignore his team in this game. Stop playing the active carry that you've done in the past. I need you to focus up, just hit the creeps, become the K1 of Western Europe, and make sure that when the game gets tough, you've got 3-4 big items to bring to the fight. If you're not, then yeah, Liquid are scary as ever.
I can't wait. I feel like this game, both teams will bring that aggression inside the game. Before we head to that game number 2 of this grand finals, though, we're first going to head over to the stage where Sir Action Slacks is with Coach CY.
Thank you so much, my friends. Yes, we are here yet again with CY. CY, thank you so much for taking time with us. Now, we've been in this situation before, but a little different now. It seems like potentially a new Liquid. Were you guys kind of taken by surprise in that last one?
Not really, I think. I actually think we did a lot of good stuff. I think we messed up some stuff as well. And that kind of brought them back in the game. Like, Visage gets a lot of gold, obviously, with the Facet against, like, when he starts getting a lot of kills. So, in the end, it gets pretty hard eventually. But I actually think it was our game, yeah.
Absolutely. Now, in a situation like that, where you believe that you got the game and then it kind of got away from you, what was it like in the booth? What did you tell these guys to get their heads back in the game? Because this isn't your first time in a grand finals, and you got to get their heads on right.
No, I mean, like, I told them that we actually did the right thing, and, like, I think we comms well as well. I can hear the communications behind the scenes. So I think everything is, like, good. I think we just tried to run it back and, like, stay focused and calm and logical, and I think it will be fine.
Absolutely. You know, they say loss is the best educator. You guys seem to learn a lot on that one. You stole the puck, you banned the Doom, you denied the Dragon Knight. These guys have learned a lot from you as well. Anything left to learn about this team, since we've seen you so many times before against each other?
I don't know, honestly. Well, we'll have to see.
All right, fantastic. Well, congratulations so far. We'll see how you do. Bump it up, my man. And we'll get right in to game number 2. Let's throw it to our wonderful casters.
Thank you very much, Slacks. Yes, it's time to get into the action of Game 2. Fog, some crazy stuff going on in the draft this time round. We're seeing for Liquid. They get that support duo again, the Tusk, the Shadow Demon. But over on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, the Naga Siren gets through, a hero that's been banned over 100 times this tournament.
It's crazy how so many adaptations happened in this game, right? It's 0 common heroes that Gaimin was playing from the last draft. Liquid, they get 3 that they played last time. And those 3, they did look super strong. Boxian and Tusk in particular was kind of running the show, made the them just come back in that game after that 7K deficit that they had, just with some clutch saves and aggression. And yeah, I mean, we'll have to see if this type of gaming strategy ends up working, because it is a bit different from the style that we've seen them run in some of these games in this tournament.
Already seeing here setting up around the early action. No one going to find any fights off the back of the first bounty runes. But yeah, what do you sort of make of gaming's overall direction this time around then, in comparison to what they went for in game one?
More scaling. They're going to be able to just play the game to the later stages and stuff like that. I feel like that last one is a very standard. They want to snowball out of control with this Underlord and Chen and just completely dictate the pace of that early first 20 minutes. But yeah, Liquid, they fought back formidably. This one feels like they can look to stall the game out, play more about that economy game and stuff like that with the DK. Just, is it going to work is a bit of a question. Because Liquid, they did switch things up as well. Even though they have 3 common heroes, they bring in this Bristleback that's not been played too much throughout this tournament. But I was looking actually just before this game started. 33 has been kind of playing it in quite a bit of pubs.
And is there anything specific about the Bristol right now that you could imagine 33, you know, is the reason why 33 feels good about this hero in this meta?
Yeah, I mean, you're able to fight super fast. You thrive off of stacks, and he's playing with 2 of the better stackers in the game, the Shadow Demon in particular. And he's just able to park himself in front of towers and defend maybe some of these early aggressive moves.
Well, level 1, though, could be a little bit vulnerable. The snowball save's going to come out for now, but 33 still getting brought incredibly low here. I mean, they're trying to bait one another, and maybe Duracio's the one getting baited in. They have up to, what, the 3 stacks of the quill sprays there, so Duracio had to be careful. Both cores getting harassed very low by one another's team's supports.
They make the call, though. Boxy's like, all right, maybe there's a little bit of a hard lane to just play straight up. He's going to try to at least pull this wave on the side here, and it should be successful. Mid, Quinn, we'll see how he handles versus Tiny, another hero that's not been played the most throughout this tournament, but a standard counter versus the puck.
Yeah, one that historically we've seen Nisha have some explosive performances on. See how well he's able to I imagine potentially get a lead in this mid matchup. How does this work? We saw obviously switched around last time, Nisha being on the puck, and well, Quinn playing like the melee hero with a hard-hitting right click. Is it also a similar case where Tiny can have a little bit of an edge early on, or is it not quite the same?
Yeah, slight edge in the denies, but it's a very skill matchup, right? I think I've seen either of these players kind of win, depending on, you know, just a couple of these few early CS and stuff like that. Because puck overall, the beauty about this hero now is you just get so much extra healing when you're playing in the lane just from this puckish, this innate ability. You're able to just walk in, tank tower hits, dodge spells as well too. So every phase shift actually heals you pretty massively.
Looking down at the safe lane this time around from Liquid. They're going to try with a bit of setup. I mean, Ace has got a lot of poison stacks upon him. Shouldn't quite kill him, but at least it's going to force him right back. And Sania having to be careful as Tofu tried to push forward in return.
Oh, and this matchup actually in the mid lane, something really interesting is, of course, you can dodge normal spells, and also the tree grab. I think Nisha has to... Tree grab. I think Nisha has to be careful every time he throws the tree at the puck, because if you dodge that one, you actually get 4 times the amount, because it's a spell projectile, is what it looked like at least. I believe he healed for like 100 or something when he threw the tree and dodged it. I'll keep eyes on see if that mechanic actually works like that. But
so far in the CS in the mid, it's proven to be pretty even in performance. 16-1 on Quinn, 14-3 for Nisha.
Yeah, pretty solid stuff. And also, one thing that we do get to see, which I think has not really gotten through in too many of these games, it's this Naga Siren. And it's not a 5-position Naga Siren either, which is very interesting to see. They do want Celery playing this Enchantress, but
top lane.
Interesting change.
Quite a few Quill Spray stacks onto Duraccio. He's got to back off. The heals for Celery coming in. I mean, you feel both teams here, Liquid and Gaimin, really trying to push one another's cores to the edge, to the limits here in this laning stage top. Just the question is going to be who's the first to fall off the back of these back and forth fights between Duraccio and 33.
Just have to be careful because it's such explosive damage that can come from a Bristleback out of nowhere. And they do have a Healing Lotus on the Tusk as well. So if you do get over-aggressive, overzealous, they could just pop that Lotus, get an extra Quill or 2 out. So you do have to be a bit careful on the side of Gaimin how aggressive you want to get onto 33. But Duraccio, he's farming good. That's the important thing. So 21-4, and he is pretty much full HP.
And overall, do you see Gaming Gladiators maybe having a bit of a better plan for dealing with mid-K if the fight started to get out of control? Because we saw last game, despite that early lead that Gaming Gladiators had, when they started to sort of slip behind, there were so many fights that mid-K was just able to find prime position to sit in place, turret out that.
We saw what they were able to do to just stop any of this aggression if they were in the good position, which after the first 12 minutes, they were always in that right spot.
For sure, and if anything, you know, we saw how well Liquid supports were able to get the saves off in a game against a smoke screen, you know, where Ricky was involved. This time that's not there, so it may even be that little bit easier for Liquid to pull off these clutch saves when Gaming Gladiators start making moves for the cause of Liquid.
This mid matchup is hype. I mean, it's very, very even. Just 100 gold difference between the two of them.
They're going to hit sort of levels at a pretty similar pace here in the mid.
But the puck can stay sustained a little bit easier, I would say, at this point, just because of that constant healing that's coming out. So Nisha actually does get pushed away from the lane.
They're going to go for Dyrachyo. Straight away, they see that he's alone. The TP comes in from Mickey. Dyrachyo's gone. It's first blood for 33.
Heads up stuff, and immediately we just TP back to bottom. Love it. Mickey tried to do this that last game, too. Early TP around that 4-5 minute mark. This time, it works out just a bit better. And 33 now, top of that net worth. DK Enchantress lane, usually a lane that it's pretty difficult to bully, but if you're going to be able to bring the numbers like that, it is beautiful.
And in terms of the Naga Siren, right, one of the edges, right, with this hero is the presence in the lane. I mean, the question is, has Tofu been able to do enough in this laning stage? Because looking at the farm, not really caused any slowdown for Mickey.
No, and most of the times when I've seen this hero played so dominantly, it's because you're playing with that ranged core in the safe lane. You're able to abuse either this ensnare plus reel-in combo with the deluge, and you get some early kills. So, yeah, definitely going to be a different kind of approach from Tofu and see what he's able to do. Right now, it's just him using mirror images to kind of block camps and manipulate waves like that, but it's not really having the effect that maybe they wanted to in this bottom lane. Yes, Ace is farming, but you're not really putting pressure onto Mickey.
So Dyrachyo, second I want to go for an early move down towards the bottom.
Oh, this is cool. They're actually bringing 4 heroes. So I guess this is the way they want to pressure because they don't have the best dual pressure. They want to do this, but Boxy's reading the movement.
Liquid seem to be relatively prepared for this potential play, or maybe they're just going to look to go aggressive first themselves. They do. They go straight over towards
just
Tofu.
Centaur creep.
You're going to get the follow-up stun as well from Ace. This could give Gaming Gladiators the chance to fight back. Celery and Ace, do they have enough damage to threaten Mickey? A bit of body blocking here from Tofu with the Naga Siren illusion, but Mickey's still able to get around, get back to safety. We saw Dyrachyo didn't want to be a part of this. Resumes farm up top. So Gaming Gladiators, as soon as they lose Tofu there, they decide against trying to make that sort of wraparound play.
The Wisdom Rune, it's going to get stolen. He's able to just take down away Tofu. He's already limited on the experience.
He's got no way out, though. He's got no way out.
Does he see him? He's sneaking.
He's actually been able to juke perfectly outside of vision. I don't think Tofu's seen him at all.
Celery, they see this with the scan. Celery's trying to catch him up, and Mickey's just waltzing past them.
They see him, of course, now. With the micro, I mean, surely he doesn't get away with this, Mickey.
Surely not. Ace is looking to go get him now.
Yeah, they're going to put an end to him here, Ace. I don't know if he can do some crazy sort of sprout play. He tries, but the Quelling Blade's there. Ace will be able to slowly but surely catch him out and cut him down. So he gets the Wisdom, does cost him his life.
Always painful to lose these Wisdom runes. They're not really the most, I would say, the most level-dependent supports on the side of Gaming Gladiators, though, right? The level 6s aren't really that impactful from either one of them. Yes, the Naga Song later on will be, but early on, them actually missing out on that XP might not be the most atrocious thing. Because sometimes it's like a Snapfire that doesn't get a 6 super early, but these two, we'll see what type of result it ends up happening. Of course, the supports on Liquid, they're going to be super happy, and they're going to be very high level, so Boxy, he's already level 5.
And in terms of some of the individual farm we're seeing, 33, he's getting quite a scary bit of space up top.
Sure is. They're going for the surround play bottom. Dyrachyo's got involved. Mickey
is trying to TP out top, and Dyrachyo's found him. In on top with the Dragon Tail. Gaming Gladiators, have they got any further cancel for the TP of Mickey? They don't, so they'll have to turn and sell for Boxy. Liquid, they get Mickey out.
Heavy commitment, though. It is a Stampede plus a DK form to at least try to pressure tower and get a kill. They just get a support. And yeah, like you said, in the meantime, 33, he's just maximizing mechanics.
Yeah, he's massive.
Yeah, he's just pulling creeps into jungle creeps, stacking them up as much as possible. This is going to be an absurdly fast Ags timing for him.
And we see the progress between the two mid laners, Nisha and Quinn, continues to be incredibly close.
Dead even. Literally 8 gold between the two of them or something, or 9. My math was bad.
But yeah, looking at 33, you got to sort of ask the question, Gaming Gladiators, what's the plan with regards to this Bristle? Because at the moment, 33 is on track to get one of the faster Ags timings you'll see on a Bristleback this patch.
I imagine it's just to get a really, really farm DK. Maybe at some point the Silver Edge later down the lines can be something they look for an answer, but I would imagine it's Dyrachyo getting this armlet, getting this type of crazy type of farm to deal with him, because besides that, their damage is definitely quite limited versus a very farmed Bristle in the early game. And speaking of very farm Bristle, he does still have those stacks to go back to as well, which I believe is like a double stack and a triple on the Ancients.
Yeah, that's insane. Actually, if things continue like this is going to be a completely insane Aghanims timing. This game for 33. He's already half the way there. As you say, with stacks to plenty, he'll be in a very, very solid time. And across the board, though, the 3 cores of Gladiators do have the tools to make plays. Definitely on heroes outside of the bristle. So we'll see what Gaimin Gladiators look to make their moves. And just in general, look to see if they try and check out this area and get some information regarding the stacks of Team Liquid. Celery, been caught in.
Big Wrath of Nature.
And with the burst coming in as well from the snowball, Stampede is not going to get Celery out in time. Same time up top, Duracho is going to try and set him on a 33. He really is, and backup is in for it. And Sania holds back Duracho. With these 2 heroes, there's just not a chance. Even with Quinn being present, he knows that using a Dream Coil there is just not going to do a whole lot at all. This Bristleback is very unlikely to die unless they bring all 5. And even at that, it might not still be an easy job.
No, absolutely. It's going to be till later on when they have the answers, especially like we were saying, the DK, or if they can get him actually facing the right target, because they do have stuns at the least to be able to stop and hold that Bristleback in place. Nisha?
Going to try and get the cash. Nisha optic to immediately break the Dream Coil. TP's were going to come in, but they've actually backed off on that Gaimin Gladiators. They know they're not getting a kill quick and easy. Nisha's going to be fine.
Quinn's in trouble.
He's ended up under the tower, jumping over towards the orb in an attempt to get away from Nisha and Insania. He's got another orb to try and break away. Have they got anything to stop it? They have not. So Quinn is able to dance safely back to the side of Celery's Enchantress.
Almost had the vision there from Nisha. If he was able to get that toss, the phase shift and everything was actually down, could have almost maybe gotten that pocket. But they're going to smoke instantly, even without the coil at the ready. This is a very unexpected move that could catch Liquid off guard here. They're going to throw the scan.
Let's see what they can find. Mickey would be the ideal catch.
I mean, they have this deep ward. It's about to expire as well, too. Mickey might not see this coming. That ward was literally right outside the sentry range.
Yeah, this is a solid play here from Gaimin Gladiators, but it will get shown now. So TPs do start to come through. Maybe these 2 can't get the burst off in time to kill him off. Mickey's going to come in with the stove.
They got Quinn
from Boxy, and indeed they just turn and kill Quinn off.
Boxy that was the fastest TP I've ever seen. It was literally before they even showed on the smoke, it felt like. That was crazy. He's on point with this Tusk.
It looked like they were going to get away with it as well, if it weren't to be for this pesky Tusk. Boxy, save after save.
Mickey's doing some really cool little stuff here too. Just planting this tree for extra damage. That's actually kind of neat. Just this GG branch with his innate. Actually very cool. I don't think I've seen many people do that. I was wondering why he was just randomly dropping the GG branch, and I'm like, oh, very cool.
Well, the farm continues, and indeed this Bristleback, 33, he's completely out of control. The Aghanims, ridiculous timing here, pre-12 minutes, I believe.
That's insane. And he's got the Voodoo Mask.
Yeah, the Spell Life Steal's already out on top of it.
Overall, looking at the lineup of Gaimin Gladiators too, nobody really wants to build a Vessel. I mean, Vessel's kind of a dead item right now, but no one wants to build Vessel, and Shiva's is not going to come down for ages, even if it does come out for something like Puck. So definitely going to be some problems that they have with this Bristle.
I mean, for Gaimin...
Wow. Well, and they have the damage, thanks to Whitemon again. Right place, the right time, hit...
For this game around. Usually they're around like 25-minute aura timings. There's a lineup where we may not even see too many auras come out from either side, let's be honest with you. So definitely a bit of a different kind of style game that it could lead up to these like late games, which I think we're all looking forward to, because we've had quite a bit of these games around like the 20 to 35-minute mark that kind of end. This one could get pretty late game if they end up playing just for this farm game, which for gaming, it looks like they want to. So Liquid definitely have a way to set tempo though. They have this Bristleback who's massive. They can force objectives very early on, and that's what it feels like they're going to start doing, playing around 33.
Yeah, we'll have to see how much they can force, because indeed, if the game gets to a point where we're sort of 25 minutes in and the Bristol's at the high ground of Gaimin Gladiators are going to have to come in with some sort of answer.
Yes, absolutely. I mean, that's definitely the ideal play that Liquid wants to do, is pressure the map early.
Strong lead in from Quinn. Do they have the damage for Ace and the Stampede and the Who Stomp? They certainly will. Okay, there's no saving him this time. Gaimin Gladiators think it's the kill, but can they get out? Nisha is in with the combo. Avalanche to follow up onto both onto Quinn and Celery. Snowball over towards Quinn. They've got the stop and the punch up. They're taking Quinn out. Celery has been caught in by the shards. 33 and Insane are ready to chase down Ace. Celery's going to TP out as Liquid. They'll look for the bigger target instead, getting Ace as well.
They'll get the trades. And the more advantageous ones, they do have to swing 4 heroes down here, so it's quite a bit expended. Duracho will be happy to be able to farm off of that timing. But Liquid, it's such quick reactions that they've been able to do here. And Nisha now at this point has a very large separation between him and Quinn. The amp damage rune already finished up onto him, or amp damage is on in for him, and he's gonna have a phylactery pretty early on. So the scaling is also gonna come from Nisha.
It's just taking that little bit more time and just been that bit more hard for Quinn to find successful kills off the back of his Dream Coil plays.
He has to just be so careful because there is this type of explosive damage. The Tiny is always going to be a bit of a problem for him. And Boxy so far, no matter what lineup he's against, it feels like if he gets his Tusk is a problem.
It's a nice play there of Celery with the Wild Wing Ripper trying to tear himself away from Nisha. Nisha for now is going to continue to chase.
They've got the TP coming in.
Indeed, Nisha slowly playing around with Celery. They've got the numbers here. Insania, Boxy, Mickey, the whole team pretty much turning up to get another kill on the board here, Liquid.
And the crazy thing in the meantime, look where 33 is. He's just occupying the enemy triangle, kind of challenging them, telling them to come at him because he knows he's pretty much invulnerable unless they bring all 5. Buys an early shard as well too, so he's got the hairball even stronger. He is a big problem. Dyrachyo is farming, but he needs a couple bit more items before he wants to be able to join versus this Bristle. Armlet, S and Y, and then yeah, we see that Silver Edge is going to eventually, of course, be queued up onto Dyrachyo. But that's going to take time, and Liquid, they can thrive off just occupying the map with this 3k advantage. With this early Blink Dagger, with this aggression, they can play with the Tusk.
Looking for the setup around the mid, Liquid.
Gonna
get the jump in Nisha. He's able to get the setup straight away. They want to try and burst through the Enchantress. The heals are up for Celery. It's too much damage though, Liquid. They can get pretty much any kill that they jump for right now. Mickey's ready to lead in for more. Looks towards Quinn, but the orb is back up.
He's slowed down.
They've got his Stampede. They absolutely have to, but Nisha's able to still get it with the toss. The Stampede doesn't matter. Nisha still able to close the gap and take Quinn out.
Liquid's playing too fast for this gaming strategy at the moment. Yes, Dyrachyo is farming, but everybody else is starting to fall further and further behind. They haven't been able to really involve Tofu either. I know he's just sitting back, kind of trying to get some farm going, but they can't even reset and avoid the fights that Liquid's bringing to them. The timings are accelerating fast. And they're losing access to so much. At 33, he just keeps taking away these Ancients. I believe they've been stacking some Ancients on their side, cleaning them up too. So they're farming, it feels like 70% of the map. Gaming under a lot of pressure here.
That Silver Edge, as you say, cannot come any sooner for Dyrachyo. He needs it yesterday, really, against this Bristle. I mean, once it's there, that will be the big test of whether Gaimin Gladiators can bring together a fight to slow Liquid down.
Yeah, but it's not just the Bristle, right? It's Nisha scaling. Mika is starting to get some scaling too. Even though he's died twice, he is getting closer and closer to having his big item. He actually has it. Sorry. So Gladiator's already done. So Liquid can just keep looking to pressure. And Gaming could really struggle in the damage department to kind of dissuade and push them off these towers, or if that early Roche, because Liquid feels like they have options right now how they want to pressure the map.
Oh yeah, they're ready to get in under the tier 2 tower. If Nisha sees a chance to jump, he's going to be straight in for it. He's got an arcane rune in the bottle as well.
He's got that phylactery, so that burst damage, it's there. They're going to start to hit this tower here. Tofu wants to try to slow it down, but you can see the way that Gaming's postured on the map. They don't want to go for a full-out fight around here.
I mean, Liquid's going to have a pretty good idea that Gaimin Gladiators is playing from this tree line. Indeed, Quinn and Tofu, they've just got to back right away up to the high ground, up to the base. There's going to be no defense outside of a fortification here. They'll push them back temporarily.
This tower's going down. Oh, they actually lose the Treant there. Whoopsie, Mickey. Bit of miss micro.
Quinn, again, sort of having eyes on this area of the map, but he can't really start anything right now. All he can sort of do is just sit back and watch whilst Liquid takes these towers.
It's so dangerous for him to step up. Just because this tiny pick, it's honestly working wonders to just not allow this puck to have any type of opportunities in the map to split things up, go and get any type of that extra farm. Quinn is very poor right now, bottom of the cores.
They're really looking to be all on Dyrachyo.
Yeah, it definitely is right now. And look at the positioning, like Celery. He's trying to find desperate places to farm, but there's a ward, and they will find him again.
You just can't hide on the map right now from Liquid. They will find you.
Firm control. Roche soon on the menu. Maybe they'll wait for it to shift down to bottom, but yeah, they really feels like they can kind of go anywhere right now. And of course, 33, he gets the Vampire Fangs. I know Sand Kings have been the ones kind of thriving off of this one, but this is definitely one of those other heroes that can become pretty much unkillable on top of already being unkillable. This just adds an extra layer.
Yeah, they've just not been able to slow him down one bit this game. It's just been completely free for 33. It's 19 minutes so far.
And Quinn, he got spotted for a second there. His orb. We'll just be able to split it up.
They just have to keep so much distance between themselves and Liquid. And even at that, as we're seeing, Liquid, for good setup of Mickey TPing in and getting the catch with the Gleipnir, they can still find kill opportunities. So Gaimin Gladiators, they're having to play so cautious right now.
This is probably I think this might be one of the first times I've seen this tournament that Gaimin is just full out split farming. They don't really want a full out fight, but Nisha now shows.
See if they can punish Nisha here on his own.
He's got a regen rune.
Backup is coming over. I don't think they're killing this Tiny. Nisha's ready to turn things around. Gaimin Gladiators have got to run. Quinn will be able to jump down to the low ground in time. Tofu comes in with the song, and that may just be enough to save Ace. Indeed, Ace will get out. Tofu able to make sure there'll be no casualties this time for Gaimin Gladiators.
Look how much they just expended, though. They're trying to get Nisha, and he had the regen rune. He's full HP. This tier 2, it's gonna fall.
And it seemed like even if he didn't, I don't know if they were getting him there.
Oh, okay. They used it. I mean, this is their high ground glyph. This is a dangerous one to use at times when you are behind like this.
Let's see how much Liquid want to push it. Tower's gone. They're going to be tempted to maybe take the Tormentor first. Should be able to get that pretty easily here with 33 on the Bristle.
Yeah.
There's going to be no struggle taking this one away from Gaimin Gladiators. So Tormentor for Liquid, just a shard there for Boxy.
They used the glyph. They're forcing because this glyph is on cooldown.
And we talked about what do they do when 33 on this Bristle is approaching your high ground at 25 minutes. I mean, it's happening at 20 minutes.
I'm sure Jenkins is losing it. These glyphs that people use sometimes, they're very, very dangerous.
I've got the blink now on Quinn, but
they need more
going
damage.
in for action, it just does not seem appealing.
No, they need the next item, really, on Duracho, but the items are just flirting it too fast from Liquid. Roche, it's up if they want to go for it, but they're still looking to apply pressure around here, at least deny away this Wisdom Rune.
And at the same time, just making sure that they keep the efficiency up Liquid.
Absolutely.
Nisha continues to clean up stacks in the jungle that are being made, and Mickey just finding completely free space on the other side of the map, far, far away from any chance of Gaimin Gladiators getting out and finding him.
And Liquid's Tricore is looking beautiful. And overall for Gaimin Gladiators, they kind of are in this 4 Protect 1 a bit for this DK because of how hard the Pucks game has gone. Yes, Pucks can scale, but right now Quinn is in a very dangerous position versus this Tiny.
Duracho tries to get out with this early play, but sentries are already laid down. They're already prepared for it. And of course, at this stage, still just the Shadow Blade alone. He's quite a bit more once he's got the fully fledged Silver Edge. So for now, the farm just has to continue for Gaimin Gladiators. Quinn?
Liquid just wants to force it. The glyph, it's still on cooldown for some time.
I mean, it may be at a point, maybe Gaimin Gladiators just have to let this set of racks go.
It might feel like it, yeah.
It's a tough call to make, but in reality, what do you have right now?
You can't
to stop this push.
Bristle. You cannot touch this Bristleback.
And Quinn's here, but outside of an illusory orb, that's about it really when it comes to the defense. Tofu just nearly getting cleaned up by the Nature's Wrath.
What? Hey, their axes are just gone.
They just don't have the defense right now. They don't have the answer. They have to let Liquid take that full set.
Dangerous times here for the side of Gaimin. It's pretty much all on Duracho at this point now, if the Silver Edge is even gonna matter now. Because like you said, it's a tri-scaling core lineup here for Liquid. They can go back for Roche and look to probably continue this pressure here.
And they just have so many saves as well. If Duracho is able to kind of get in and start off the action on a core, it's incredibly likely Boxer and Insania, they're gonna get the saves off. Sure, Gaimin Gladiators, they've got some ways to get to the back lines between the blink of Ace and the blink of Quinn, but finding both of Liquid's supports, it's not gonna be easy.
No, and it's the thing is too, is just these heroes are not squishy by any means too. I'm just still looking at damage. Yeah, they'll have break, let's say, right, for the DK on this DK for this Bristle, but Tiny has 3,000 HP. Bristle also has like 2,600. The Nature's Prophet is also incredibly tanky too. They may be able to focus fire one target, but it feels very difficult for them to bring down all of these heroes. And Liquid is also, they've been gathering Lotus's own. So on top of having this tankiness, they have a greater healing Lotus as well in the Shadow Demon to limit even more of that damage that Gaimin Gladiators is lacking. They're gonna keep this pressure going. Celery?
Support the Stampede. And Gaimin Gladiators, they don't want to lose even the supports at this point. Just try and stop the bleeding.
Glyph is back up to Duracho in a dangerous position up here.
It's going to be another objective that Gaimin Gladiators, they're not going to want to do anything about.
There's 4 minutes still left on this Aegis too. Liquid can look to continue pressure. And they do have to address the lanes a little bit here, but Mickey, he can always just back up and join his team. 33's forcing it. The strategy right now is working beautifully from Liquid. Ace has bought it. I mean, they need this type of healing reduction, right? So a Shiva's on a Centaur. They need to try to fight and push this back. They cannot lose another set.
These are the two big item timings. Ace with the Shivas, and now Dyrachyo with the Silver Edge. They're going to try and start off the action very quickly. They'll be able to take the Aegis out of 33's hands.
That's the one.
Foxy and Mikhail will turn their attention over towards Ace. He's able to put the flame out. Tofu using the song. Gaimin Gladiators, they're going to consider if they want to do something aggressive or if they want to hold back. They'll step off to the side of the fight for now. Oh, he's going to get caught by the opening stone. We'll get dragged to the side here by the drinking, but his Dream Core down on the three of them. Dyrachyo and Celery trying to bring the damage. They're doing a lot here. Bring the leg down. Save these throughout. They're going to be able to take down Foxy. 33's going to get pumped up by the heel of the Lotus Devil from Insane and passing it over. 33 will be able to back away, but Gaimin Gladiators, they'll continue the chase. Orb comes in from Quinn. They're in onto Insania. 33 and Mickey, they're looking to bail out of the fight. Dyrachyo, can he get us off in time? He can't. The two cores will get out, but Gaimin Gladiators, a successful defense. The big items come in just in time. Between the Shivas and the Silver Edge, it gives them that extra bit of power to push Liquid back.
It was exactly when they needed it. If they didn't get these items pretty much at that exact moment, these Raxes are going down. And it does seem to catch Liquid off guard. Their Nisha, a very overzealous blink forward, gets himself caught in no man's land.
We'll see again here.
Like, watch this jump from Nisha. This was very, very dangerous. Because it just puts his team in position where they can just get gone on afterwards, and they have to kind of react to try to save him, and it ends up setting up Quinn with, I think, a 3-man Dream Coil.
Yeah, immediately what Dyrachyo finding him with that Dragon Tail stun as he gets caught in the front. I mean, just that whole sort of start where Tofu uses the song to allow them to back off. You know, they were ready to hold back and not do anything, but at the same time, they were also ready if Liquid were to go that little bit too deep and make that sort of aggressive play, and that indeed was what ended up happening. They get punished, Liquid. Gaimin Gladiators, taking away some of that lead.
It's big. That's what their lineup was about. It's not the standard Gaimin Gladiators lineup that they usually go for. It's a much more scaling one. They do need to be able to protect themselves for these next... I mean, the pushes are going to continue coming, so they just have to be prepared and make sure that Dyrachyo stays at this top net worth.
Because, yeah, I guess that's the question. After that sort of defense, you know, if you're Liquid and you get pushed back like that, you don't have the Aegis anymore. You're going to have to wait a long time until Roshan's back up. What's the game plan? Can you afford to sit back, or do you have to keep your foot on the pedal and go again?
I think you want to keep your foot on the pedal. It's probably just playing around like one of these extra BKB timings, though. When you see that type of pressure play come happen, you're like, okay, our Tiny will go BKB probably, and then also the Bristleback, just to be able to force the issue or force the next Roche fight. And they do have at least the one on the Bristle. I see Nisha, he still went a little bit greedy. He did go Echo Saber instead of the BKB just yet. But they do have a triple BKB timing, so I'd imagine, yeah, they still want to look to pressure. Gaming, they just want to keep looking to scale, but they can fight if it comes to their high ground.
Dyrachyo feeling more confident now to farm in some riskier positions on the map.
I'm wondering if he does want to go down this Satanic route, or if he does feel like he wants even more damage. Both feel good.
A smoke play from Liquid. They're ready to try and see if they can get a catch outside of the base that could lead them into the possibility of pushing for the high ground once more.
So it's two BKBs. They have lanes in good position too. This bottom lane is always going to keep pushing in because of that early rack that they got. So looking to swing and catch somebody, but Gaimin, they're ready for this. Prepared inside the base, just using the illusions to split push.
I guess the question is if they themselves want to go for a play in return. They do have smokes available on Celery.
They've got a nice little semi-push going up top with this Dark Troll Summoner. They will use the glyph on the side of Liquid to stop it. Looks like they do want to at least deny around this Wisdom Rune again. They want to fight on the side of Liquid, but Gaimin, they are smoked.
They want to go as well. They're going to have to wait a little bit of time for the Elder Dragon form to come back up for Dyrachyo's. 30 seconds, so... have it kind of comboing in with the ending of that smoke.
And look at the neutral item that Dyrachyo chose too. I mean, he's just jacked up on the armor. He gets the Craggy coat. Not usually the most ideal for the damage potential, but he's sitting at 45 armor or more.
That's fair. It's a whole lot of physical coming out from Team Liquid.
For sure.
So start to tentatively head out to the base, Gaimin Gladiators, but for now, Liquid very much elsewhere. As the minutes close in towards the next Roshan respawn. And by the looks of it, I think, yeah, Liquid, maybe they do just wait for this to come in return, as they know after that last attempt to push high ground, that didn't go too hot for them. They've got to be very careful about how they go for it again. They're regaining that lead. We're starting to see that net worth grow once more, back up to a 5k lead for Liquid with these more passive moments.
Always inside the base, though. It's more dangerous than those like outside fights when you're diving, committing forward. So around that Roche fight in 2 minutes or so, that's probably what Liquid is looking for, like you were saying. The BKB still will be stalled out from Nisha, but Nisha did find himself a Nemesis curse. So
Dyrachyo looking at some of these neutrals. The Silver Edge touching onto 33. He can. The Dragon Tail stun to follow things up. Some of the saves there. Snowballs in, and Boxy's ready to help turn things around. TP comes in from AK. Mickey. They're going to look straight over towards Tofu, try and get the squish kills first, and with the BKB pop by Mickey, he can continue to punch into Tofu. And Tofu is surviving for this damage. Mickey's not got quite enough to kill Tofu off, and Tofu, he's able to get away. Liquid the turn over towards Ace instead, but the Stampede's out. The Sprout's there to try and stop him. He cuts his way out, but Boxy's got the punch up. Ace, he'll get one more who stop off, but he'll fall. Now they'll turn over towards Duracho. Liquid trying to surround him. Quinn looks to jump the backline for the toss-ups there. They have the burst to bring Duracho down. The Dream Core comes out, but it's a little too late. Gaimin Gladiators, they're running out of damage. They have to run. They have to escape. And Liquid, they're going to try and do their best not to let them. Nisha back in with another toss combo onto Celery. Liquid take the team fight.
Gaimin thought they could re-go. They had the break potential. We saw Duracho, he turns and gets that second hit, but it's an instant disruption from Insania, and they just turn and get right on top of him. He is still semi-fragile on this DK if they have those numbers. And now a 10,000 gold lead, they can look to barrel it down. They can look for another lane here.
They certainly can. No need to necessarily wait now for the Roshan respawn. 33 at level 20. Storming down the mid here. And Tofu's trying to cut sort of the waves with the illusions, but Liquid can quickly clean through those.
Bloodstone's about to be finished for him too. So, I mean, you didn't kill him yet. You killed him the once on the Aegis with the Silver Edge. The Bloodstone's going to make it a lot harder. Quinn trying to stall things out. Backdoor kicks in for a second here.
Now they really don't want to have to use Duracho's buyback. 20 seconds until he's back, and they've got the fortification. So they should be able to push Liquid back without the presence of the DK.
But another flurry of items going to come out, and I believe they also lost their gem in that last engagement. Celery, he had it for, what, 5-6 minutes or something. Now they have it on Insania. So overall, all these wards that Gaimin did place with that type of outside movement, they're all gone. So the vision is completely gone from them. The map is dark. And that Roche, it's going to be potential soon. Let's see how quick the spawn is. Gaimin have to be prepared.
McKay's got his next time done, the full Silver Edge. So in a situation where we saw, that last team fight, a bit of a messy start in where they were trying to focus Tofu, but they didn't quite have the damage to bring him down. With that extra bit of damage the Silver Edge brings, it should be a little easier to dispatch of the supports during the Song of the Siren if Mickey gets his BKB off first.
And now they can, to be honest with you, they might be able to do initiations onto a DK. If Duracho shows himself aggressively, there could be a tossback, a break, and this DK will look very fragile. So big damage increase coming out from Mickey. Gaimin have to be positioned down here. They have to be ready for the Roche spawn. Trying to get ward control.
They absolutely want to contest this. Liquid.
They're sneaking in. They've got the vision.
And he's in with the opening. The Avalanche toss combo straight away, bringing him down to about 10% HP almost on the puck. Quinn, he's got to get out. He's dead. Foxy's in with a punch up. Quinn's out of the fight. Celery, they'll try for the TP out. They got anywhere to stop it. They don't. So Celery will live, but that's Quinn out for a full minute.
It's no hesitation. The second they put the ward down, it's an instant jump. They got dropped, what? It was like 10% HP just from the combo from Nisha. There's no way that Gaimin can react in time. That Roche, 15 seconds, but they'll have more than enough time to get it.
And we're seeing multiple times as well, Boxy, with the blink, he's now so more than ready to catch Quinn after he's tried to jaunt out with the Illusory Orb. It's always there with a follow-up, Boxy.
And even though Quinn, he does have like Defiant Shell and all this little bit of extra armor and stuff, he is still just very burstable from all this damage that Liquid has at this point.
Yeah, massive amounts being done by that Nature's Wrath from Mickey. As the farm continues, as he's ready now to swing over towards that Roche pit. I'll pick up another Aegis here.
Just realized Mickey's just 0, 2, and 12. He's just the assist king this game with those Wrath of Natures.
Yeah, the highest kills they have right now. It's all on Boxy.
It's all on Boxy.
He's got 7 kills right now, 7, 2, and 6 on his tusk.
Him and Nisha have really just putting a hurt onto Quinn. This game in particular, it's every single time Quinn showed, they double jump him, and he's either dead or put in a position where he just can't really fight afterwards. The fact that Nisha got Nemesis Curse also does make it a lot harder for Quinn to survive that huge burst damage that comes out. They do have Duracho with this Daedalus, but it's no defensive items really for him whatsoever.
I like it though. It's all in on the damage.
He has to go all in.
All in on the damage here for Duracho.
It is really a 4 protect 1 in the utmost, so he needs to just go all in on this. And this next fight, it's probably the most important one for them.
Yeah, if he gets to freely attack, you cannot underestimate how much this dragon's going to hit hard.
And they have the buff ups, right? I believe Tofu did finish a Flads as well. They had the Solar Crest from the last fight too, so just throw everything onto him and hope for the best.
See what they can get. This is going to be into 33's Aegis. Aegis.
And 33 with that Bloodstone that was finished up on top of the other items that he's got now. He is even tankier, and there is a double save as well too, so they need to find the back line. They need to do some crazy type of simultaneous initiation.
Let's see how prepared Liquid's for this, because Liquid's going to know that their creeps are pushing all the way up to Gaimin Gladiators base, and Gaimin Gladiators, they're not doing anything about it, so Liquid, they'll know that they're out on the map.
They got the scan. Oh, puts him on the cliff.
Indeed, okay. He's going to get dragged back down, though, Boxy, having to make sure that 33 doesn't get stuck in any awkward spots there on the cliff.
Nick is taking the base.
Ace has got to put the Stampede. They've got to try and get out of this, because Quinn, he's been caught by the initial combo. Tofu does have the potential of the song, if required, to get Quinn out of this.
He's caught by the stun.
I mean, the Strobo's going to catch on to him. The song comes out. And it's going to be enough to allow time for Quinn to get away from this. Yeah, he's out with the blink. Tofu coming in clutch with the save, but indeed at the same time in the base. What happened, Fog?
He took the racks. I mean, he got caught because of the Invis DK sneaking around, but he got the objective, so well worth it for him to be able to get that racks.
Dracho in the mid. He wants to try and finish this job off. Quinn, it's a big coil. Nisha has to put the BKB and run. He's too low to want to stick around for this one.
Liquid got to look to reset for those 60 seconds. Gaimin can't quite take advantage after getting this kill on the Nature's Prophet. Yeah, losing another set of racks when you're at this deficit is painful.
Yeah, the rat potential as strong as ever.
Always.
With this Nature's Prophet, especially with the amount of farm that Mickey has. They'll certainly be looking for that sort of play again, and respect. Gaimin Gladiators, they've got to be prepared for it. And
there's only one more.
It can be something that works their favor. If they can set up a successful trap for the Nature's Prophet, it could be the beginning of Mickey's demise.
I don't think Mick is going to go for some type of play. I think now it's like he's going to join his team and look to go for the press, because there's only one lane remaining. He doesn't need to take that type of crazy risk. That one was just, he tried to seize an opportunity because he saw a couple people. It was just a nice move from Dyrachyo to catch him off guard there. But Liquid, I imagine when he respawns, they're just going to look to group. And we'll see how Gaimin can fight back. Dyrachyo's damage is definitely there if he's able to get these attacks off. New neutral items soon too would be quite nice for him. I know the Craggy gives him some defensive capability, but we all want just full out aggression for Dyrachyo.
Yeah, going to go straight for that Ags after the Silver Edge, and now over towards the Tormentor. They'll be able to take this one. The smoke comes out from Liquid. They want to make the most out of these final couple of minutes of 33's Aegis.
2 minutes remaining on it. Quinn has to be careful of his positioning. So much burst damage if they see him.
See how quick his reactions are if they do get the chance to jump him. And Quinn, he's not going to play to take any chances. He's back to base.
Okay, joining the squad. They're smoked up.
Creeps are being cut at the moment in the mid lane, but the top lane pushing in. Nisha or Boxy both ready for potential initiation. It's just going to be the illusion for now, baiting some of the action.
Smoke didn't break.
Could look to go again around the mid, but Gaimin Gladiators likely to sit a safe space away from Liquid here. Nobody wants to get caught by the jump of Nisha.
33's gone for Greaves of his own. I mean, that's very interesting. Extra little aura. Drinking buddies.
Quinn's going to try and jump in with the waning rift onto the three of them. Ace tries to come with the follow-up, but the avalanche trips him off. The Dream Core's down, but the BKB's popped by Mickey. Now back off for now here, Liquid.
33, standing his ground.
They continue just to be this sort of impenetrable brick wall between Liquid and Gaimin Gladiators.
And they did get the tower, did get whittled down from these constant hits from the tree and from those tosses. Does eventually die. DK form was used as well too, so there will perhaps be a little bit of a window if Liquid wants to siege once that DK form goes down.
And we'll see how strong they feel with the last seconds or so of this Aegis.
Dyrachyo.
He's going to try and start the action in Turai and see if they can take down 33 quickly. 33's dragged out to the side. Disruption comes out. They're going to be able to keep 33's first life alive a little bit longer as 33's able to back away. In fact, now he's ready to aggressively move and he pops the Bloodstone. He heals incredibly up. As Celery's been burst down, has to buy back here on the Enchantress.
And Boxy's still alive.
And they've still got 26 on 33's Aegis. They get another stun connection on towards 33. Can they even finish him off the once? The snowball comes in from Boxy. Punch him as well. The song comes in from Tofu. Tries to get Gaimin Gladiators back to a safe spot. Quinn's able to jump away here. Tofu bailing the team out.
Drinking buddies.
It's about to get taken away from him. So 33 will get tossed back to safety. Liquid, they'll pull back with the Aegis expiring.
How is Boxy living all these moves? He kept himself at, what, 10% HP, it felt like, for 30 seconds. That was a lot used there from Gaimin. 10 seconds till DK form.
Hit him with the opening. They don't quite have the damage there. And again, the disruption saves there from Insania. Ace is caught on the front. They're bursting through this Centaur incredibly quickly. Ace is gone and he doesn't have buyback.
The saves every single time. One final racks remaining. Ace down for 60. Gaimin, can they continue holding on? Liquid, they'll back up and reset off of that.
They will. I think a little bit of a sigh of relief there for Gaimin Gladiators in a situation where they don't have their Centaur Ace for 50 seconds. Liquid are going to actually pull back away from them and not try and continue the push quite now.
So many of these fights, Gaming's just getting caught from what? I think it was a 3-man Ava toss there, and then a Wrath of Nature comes through, and multiple heroes are just at sub 50% HP. It's scary for them to commit afterwards. And these two supports on Liquid, they have to be addressed. Somehow they have to start getting like extra silences or something, because the saves, they're perfect. The disruptions are coming out almost instantly. The drinking buddy snowballs, etc. It's there just too fast. Gaimin have to try to stop this.
I mean, on paper, you've got to imagine it's Quinn on the puck that's got to find the position to disrupt the disruptions effectively, put a stop to these sort of players coming in from the back lines.
Duracho has found another damage item, so Mindbreaker from that neutral item, of course, and he has the Aghanims finished up, so a bit stronger and almost 25. Quinn as well has kicked up the pressure. Parasma is finished with a Mindbreaker of his own, so maybe like even these little silences or something that he can do with these extra attacks could be a little bit of an X-Factor difference maker. Still very difficult for Gaimin. They can't get through these tanky cores with these double saves.
And Liquid, really, with how long they were able to get the action going throughout the end of that Aegis, it's getting close to the time where we will see Roshan pop up once more. And Liquid, with this sort of lead, maybe not too much of a reason to take too many risks. So
I think they'll wait for that, Roche.
I think so too.
Duracho trying to do some sneaky plays here, but he's
got eyes on him. He's going to get the jump. 33's coming in with the damage. Backup is there for Duracho. Duracho's able to bail up to the high ground. Gaming Gladiators do split Liquid relatively apart. They fully commit over towards Insania, but he's able to get the self-disruption off. Nisha, eyes over towards Tofu. They've been able to burst through the two supports. This is the sort of fight the Gaming Gladiators needed in terms of the start of it. Can they get the cause? They'll look towards Nisha. Nisha with the BKB TP out. They've got nothing to stop it. He'll get away, but the song's up to put a stop to the escape of Mickey as Gaming Gladiators surround the Nature's Prophet. There's no save left for Mickey as Gladiators hit back hard.
Duracho with the sneaky play, just playing around. He looks like he's, I mean, it's like a typical Duracho. Hey guys, we got him.
That was a good bait.
He's got the whole team with him.
And now they could try for a bit of a push themselves. I mean, with this, it is 80 seconds, no Mickey.
That is very true. He does not have that buyback. Not yet, 500 gold away. He probably doesn't want to use it anyway. They've got the glyph. We'll be able to stall things out a bit here.
It is okay, still 1 minute and 45 seconds for the Roshan. So when he's back in, Liquid will have the full lineup back in force.
That could have been a pretty crucial moment. If it was one of those instant spawns, Gaming could have potentially snuck
check this out again. I mean, you're absolutely right. Duracho, he just kind of going for the bait play here, and Liquid, they kind of take the bait.
And they took the fight too. I was watching Mickey attempting for some split push potentially. It seemed like sending his trade, but he made the call to join. So they thought that they could probably take this fight, but overall, positioning from Gaming was a bit too superior with that song that isolates Mickey afterwards. And the damage from Duracho, it's getting pretty scary.
Yeah, Mickey, and that BKB just not lasting quite long enough to allow him the safety to escape. Comes to an end, and Tofu's got the answer.
1 minute till the rush. They're going to check it out. They wish it was up immediately. 20 seconds, Mickey. Liquid still got to make the smoke out. They don't have the same information, so they've got to at least get something. They've got to poke their face there to see. AC was finished for Nisha.
They may have the net worth lead, but Gaming Gladiators certainly have the position advantage here.
Duracho.
He's going to fight 33 to start things off. He's going to try and over the play. There'll be the avalanche that trips up Quinn straight away. Quinn, he's got to be careful. Burst down about a third of the HP. Backup comes in from AC straight over towards Insania. The coil's there. Quinn, he's been able to isolate the two supports on the back lines. Duracho, he's bringing in the damage. They're taking down Insania. Boxy getting low. He'll get another snowball off though, Boxy. They've finished off Tofu. Buyback comes in from Quinn. Snowball over towards Celery, but Boxy had to blink out. Still alive somehow on this task. 33 pops the BKB, tries to perform, but Mickey's actually blocked 33 off it inadvertently there with the Sprout. Goes for Duracho, but Duracho is able to get over this sort of area of the map that Liquid, they can't traverse quite as easily.
He's trouble.
Breaking away from them, but they've got the chase down. They've got another set of catch with the Sprout, and Mickey bringing in the damage. Liquid, they push for the fight. They get the combo onto Quinn. He's run out of orbs to jump to. He's got it back up in a second, but the crit comes in there hard from Nisha. Quinn, it's a dieback on him. Liquid, they push for the fight. They take it, and they're straight into the Roche pit.
Nobody else is doing damage but Duracho. At some point, he just can't do it on his own. These 3 tanky cores, they sustain through all of it. With that buyback coming in, Quinn actually buys back, TPs to the top outpost, and goes through the twin gate to try to get involved because he got picked off very early on there. This avalanche from Nisha was absolutely absurd. It kind of read the play and broke that initial go that Gaming wanted to get to try to pop Duracho. And there you see Quinn, he does get punched up and brought down, so they have that number advantage for a good amount of time in this fight.
Times in this game, we're seeing Boxy just living on a slither of health.
Unbelievable
and getting to play out another multiple sets of his abilities. And this gives them the chance for Liquid to re-engage. And at this part of the fight, Quinn, as you say, buying back, it's just not enough to shift the tides of the team fight.
No, it takes him too long to get there because it's not like it's his outpost bottom. He has a TP top, go through a twin gate. It took him an extra 15 seconds or so to re-get inside that fight. And now Mega's been claimed. Liquid, they have 45 seconds.
They're pushing on. The fortification comes out. 40 seconds in which Gaimin Gladiators is going to have to try and defend without Quinn. Ace looking for the lead, but he gets caught immediately by the Avalanche. Bounces away with the Ogre Seal turret. The Stampede's there to get back, but the tier 4s are falling. Liquid, they're onto the edges. Gaimin Gladiators have got anything to stop this. They do not. GG's going to be called. Liquid take game 2.
They are playing so aggressive from the early game to the mid game. They're just very confident in the way they're playing and have to give tons of commands. I mean, the Boxy Tusk is just unbelievable. How many times is he living on slivers of HP? But at the end there, these avalanches from Nisha, he's reading the moments that they want to capitalize on getting these type of chain stuns to bring down this Bristleback, but he has that coverage kind of perfectly, especially in that last crucial fight.
And doing it in sort of two incredible fashions so far as well, this best of fight. The first game coming in with quite the turnaround. This game, getting that lead and holding it and making sure that they don't make mistakes, don't let it slip away from them. A couple of times, Gaimin Gladiators, they did come back with a pretty decent pushback, but it was never enough to slow Liquid down. And as you say, they're kind of drawing to some of these heroes that you're getting through, like the support picks. I can't imagine we're going to see the Shadow Demon Tusk duo get through
There's
again.
no way you can give them both, and probably at least not that Tusk, because Boxy out of control.
Well, there we go. So far, ladies and gentlemen, crazy stuff from Team Liquid here in this best of 5. They are 2 games up, 1 game away from claiming the championship title against Gaimin Gladiators. Can Gaimin Gladiators turn this one around? It's going to be tough. 2-0 at the moment for Team Liquid.
Oh, how the tables have turned. It was just about a
I'm just
month
feel
ago
sorry that
this
we cannot
grand
make
final
concentrate on
duo,
the champion.
these 2 teams were up against each other in a best of 5, and it was Gaimin Gladiators that was up 2 games
Thank
in the grand
you
final.
for the fans
and they
and
made it
for the
look
friends
easy.
and
I
family.
will say this is a very competitive final so far because Gaimin Gladiators is putting up one heck of a fight. But Team Liquid doing it here again in game 2, now on match point in this best of 5. Before we get to game 3, there's so much to talk about, and I think there's one thing I just like to highlight. I think sometimes when we see patch notes, Lacoste, and we see a hero having +1 armor, and everybody's like, yeah, sure, whatever. I think Boxy just proved how important just one different in stat can make. How did he live so frequently in such a sliver of HP?
Yeah, Boxy definitely a professional e-gamer that reads patch notes. This guy is playing out of his freaking mind. I did praise him before this game. I've been praising him throughout the whole year. Definitely deserves a praise. And with drinking buddies, or should we call it skull buddies, because he's pulling them out of so many troubles. I gotta point out the support duo, Insania and Boxy, playing the same heroes twice in a row, having Shadow Demon, having Tusk as well. You have this break mechanic, but it's gonna be nullified by both Disruption and the Snowball, so you're not gonna get the full value. One of the reasons why 33 was playing so aggressive into them.
Yeah, and those 2 supports, they went for Blink Dagger so early on. You had these double blinks in a game where Gaimin were already on the back foot, making it so that any move that they tried to make, the Liquid supports were there to counteract them. And in games where you're losing so hard, you just need any kill that you can get to get you back. But no, Boxy and Insania, amazing job. But I also want to talk about 33 on this Bristleback. He hit his item timing so early, from a free lane to being uncontested in the triangle to showing up bottom at minute 14 with an Aghanims, a Voodoo Mask, and completely popping off.
Liquid, they just have such a formidable triple threat, right? You've got the Tusk, the SD, and the Tiny. At any minute, if you don't execute on your jump, like you said, the saves are going to come into play, Nisha's going to hit a clutch avalanche. BKBs weren't really a thing for gaming too much in this game. So the avalanche, the toss, it was such high value for Liquid to utilize, and you've got to go to Gaimin. They're drafting themselves into a position of such high pressure moments. You're in the grand finals of TI, you want to get your first Aegis, and they're making themselves, they're making the fight so difficult. And that's where Liquid is such a strong team. They exploit their opponent's inability to hit the perfect combination. For Gaimin to get a kill, it's a stomp into a Silver Edge break, and then you murder. But Liquid, they have the supports, the Tiny, to completely break that apart. So even when there's a comeback on the cards for Gaimin, they have to hit the perfect spells in high pressure situations, and if they don't, then they just lose the game. Like Liquid, there is no way you give them SD and Tusk in the next game. Like, it feels like it's illegal. Like, in this fight as well, it's like the DK goes in, they don't get the break for long enough onto the bristle because they have no follow-up damage, and then it's fully disjointed. Liquid keep kiting back, allowing for the fight to extend further. Puck goes down, has to buy back, but where's the damage? The DK, no BKB, no Satanic available. Like, it's just, he doesn't even have Satanic. He went for the Aghanims. Yeah, Gaimin, it's such a struggle for them. Liquid are just out of this world at the moment.
They have to split this up, this duo, because it's doing way too much. They try to counter it with Ricky in game 1. They had something prepared where you are going to pick up that shard. That cloud for Ricky is going to be something very good against both of these spells, especially once you pick up the shard, of course. But second game, they try to counter it with the silence. Puck, to jump the back lines, it was not enough. Ace also picked up the Blink Dagger relatively early on, Blade Mail into Blink Dagger. This is like top 3 Blink Dagger purchases when it comes down to timing. And also Void Spirit. I think this is the key hero that has been banned in both of these games. They do not want to give Quinn a matchup where he's going to be able to jump the backline and kill the 2 supports.
And also, Boxy on the Tusk, he goes for a Halberd. We've only seen 4 other games of Halberd being picked up. The item is non-existent in the meta, due to the fact that when you BKB, the disarm just gets removed. But Boxy, he identifies the fact that against the Ratio, he is everything. He goes for the Armlet build, the Daedalus. Like, if he doesn't have a game, then there is no damage to come out. So he goes for an item that no other player cares about, and it comes in clutch. The Solar Crest, the Halberd, again, Boxy, the Tusk. Please ban it or counterpick it. Don't let him have it.
And on the topic of the Dragon Knight, all that net worth was on Dyrachyo this game. Often Gaimin would try to make these moves with Quinn and both of his supports, but it just wasn't enough numbers. They didn't do the damage. And typically when you think about Gaimin and they snowball from the lanes into the mid game and just pop off on the map, it's with Quinn +2, right? They play as a ball themselves. This time around, that wasn't happening. Naga Siren was level 3 at minute 7, and Mickey TP's in, steals the Wisdom Rune. And that's one of the hardest games I've seen Tofu play. And Quinn, without the turrets that are his supports usually, without that duo that he's able to play with, couldn't find as many moves in that early game.
So why was Naga having such a hard time? Because I've been told this is supposed to be the most contested hero and banned all the time, T.
Because of the lane. You know, Gaimin, they don't really want to put Enchantress on Tofu, therefore they force the Naga into the 4 role. They've done this before on Tofu, where he sometimes plays Bane in the 4 position, so he plays the 5 in a more greedy style. But I think Gaimin are in their own heads. The TI meta dictates, if Naga available, must pick. I personally think that they didn't need to pick Naga in this game. They could have allowed Liquid to take it, forced the SD to not get picked up because Naga's in play, and you cannot put it in the 4 role. It needs to be the 5 position, opening up the fights with Song, and your 4 has to be damaging and threatening in lane. Your Naga Centaur lane is a passive, non-pressuring lane, and I think fundamentally Gaimin kind of overcooked their draft here. They kind of stumbled into it, and yeah, I think this is probably one of the weakest drafts we've seen from Gaimin so far at TI.
Well, lots to learn from that game, and we saw a lot of high fives coming out from Team Liquid. We saw in the previous game, they already had some good comms, some happy moments. I'm sure there's more of the same in game 2.
On me. I'm tipping. I'm alive. Can we go fight them? Focus. I'm coming from the left, Nara.
Naga will sleep. Naga sleeping. Naga can die.
I'm killing Naga. I'm going center. Naga dying. Okay. They fucked up the sleep, guys. This is really bad.
Center.
Yeah, center. Prodding him. DK. I clipped him. Get purged. I clipped the DK, guys. DK. Everyone on DK right now. Fuck, Henge.
Get back.
I was fronting the Henge. He cannot be built.
I wanna get back after this.
Yeah, but he has gem on the... Gem on the Henge.
Okay, kill him.
No shot on him.
That's fucking good.
The focus, 1 by 1, Team Liquid is taking out Gaimin Gladiators in that game. And then you hear it again, same as game number 1. Mickey is the one leading the charge, saying, I'm going on that guy, and everybody is following. Now, I know we talk a lot about the Tusk and the Shadow Demon, and wow, we saw 33 Bristle have free game, but come on, that was twice in a row with Team Liquid, got the Nature's Prophet as their first pick, Effie. Mm-hmm. Is he not the problem, the Nature's Prophet?
I think the Nature's Prophet is putting Gaimin in a position where they feel the need to respond to it with either Chen or Enchantress. In that game 1, they picked Chen. In that game 2, they picked Enchantress, because to them, they want a hero that can steal the creep and counteract potential tower pressure. But by doing this, in game 2, they put the Naga Siren on 4, instead of maybe even rotating the heroes around, let Celery go bottom with Ace, let Tofu play it on the 5. No, they overcooked because of this Nature's Prophet. So maybe just, take a breather, take a step back. You can still play those heroes if you want to. You can still let the Nature's Prophet through, but not at the sake of putting Naga Siren in an unfavorable position.
This is the big one. This is the big boy. Didn't die a single time in the previous game. Loved his itemization of picking up this early Aghanim Scepter, because they've been stacking a lot for him, knowing that the safe lane is not going to be as pressuring as it should be. So his itemization, Aghanim Scepter, picks it up relatively early on. Voodoo Mask, just to have a little bit of that spell lifesteal, and then gets SNY, becomes super tanky.
But this is Bristle's minute 14 inventory. Minute 14, double bracer, arcane, voodoo mask, Aghanim Scepter. And he went bottom. They were smoked bottom, and this is when Gaimin made their first big play to kind of have a comeback in that early game. They smoked with Ace's Blink Dagger on the Centaur, got 1 kill, but then here comes 33 with that ridiculous net worth, just comes in with his Ags and just melts Centaur at that point, and it changed a lot too.
Yeah, Mr. Why the game was so difficult. You've got a DK pick into a Bristle that you can never push the Bristle out of lane. You don't really want to contest stacks too early. Then you've already conceded the off lane, like I mentioned, so you're always playing for the comeback. So again, Gaimin, please, in this next game, bring a little bit more to the laning phase. Otherwise, we could just see a repeat. Liquid 2 games in a row, by 20 minutes, they just control everything.
I'm sure that they'll come back swinging in that third game. Before we get there, though, we're first going to check in what Tsunami and Slacks are up to.
That is right, Shiver. I am here in the crowd. Hello, Copenhagen.
I love the energy right now.
What that?
I feel, I'm there too. I'm hiding on the side of you.
This is a split screen.
We're split screening.
Well,
we're doing PvP right now, Slacks.
Listen up, man. I went and found some Gaimin Gladiator homies in the crowd. Everyone over here is a gaming guy. What is this? Liquid, get the hell out of here! Get out! Get out! This is all Gaimin Gladiator fans right here, and they could use some energy. Is anybody out there a Gaimin Gladiator fan? All right. Who are you cheering for? Who are you calling out?
Duraccio, let's go!
Duraccio! Okay. How you feeling? Any advice to the boys that are listening to you in the back?
We know that you can do it. We trust you. Tofu, please. We can do it. 3 matches. Let's fucking go!
Let's fucking go! All right. You promised me full energy.
I will give you full energy.
I'm going to do something I never do. I'm going to let you hold the mic. Do not make me regret this, okay? You've got this.
Okay, guys.
Are we standing up?
In Norway, we have a word that's called forsvinn, and it rhymes with quinn. So it basically means quinn or disappear. So can I get a quinn or forsvinn? Quinn or forsvinn? Quinn or forsvinn? Quinn or forsvinn? You got this guy 3 games now, baby!
Good luck following that up.
That's very cute, Slacks. I like that you found fans. But let me just ask the whole arena. Royal Arena in Copenhagen. Are you rooting for Liquid right now? What more do I need to say, Slacks? I think they did the talking for me.
Boo. That is bull. All right, Gaimin Gladiator fans, one more time. He thinks he's already won. This team thinks they've already won, but we are still here. GG one more time. Are you ready?
All right, forget the partisanship. Royal Arena, are you ready for some more Dota? I guarantee you it'll be a game 3 no matter what, so let's get into it.
Thank you very much, and I know that we've got a lot of fans for both teams in this arena. I think more than anything, though, they are fans of Dota 2, so whether you are rooting for Gaimin Gladiators or more Dota is never a bad thing. I will say it has happened. Grand finals where there's a reverse sweep. It's not unheard of. The last time it happened, actually, unfortunately for Gaimin Gladiators, Effie, they were on the receiving end of that one. In Kuala Lumpur, just almost a year ago.
That was so fun. That was one of my favorite grand finals ever. This was versus Azure Ray, who pulled out this great comeback versus their lone druid strategy. And Gaimin, they often are put in positions where they're so dominant, they start to lose a few games, and they're they kind of crumble. I feel like in positions in these grand finals where we've seen them put under pressure slightly, it starts to snowball because at last TI as well, 2023, they just got 3-0'd by Team Spirit. I refuse to believe though, Shiver, that it's going to happen again. I refuse to believe we're going to see another 3-0 grand finals.
I refuse as well, but we're going to find out Game 3 what has it got in store for us. We'll have to wait and see a little bit longer though, but first we're going to check in with Purge.
Thanks, Cheever. I want to look back at that game one more time right before the next game starts, and the key hero was the Bristleback, in my opinion. Watch how 3-3 plays this level 1 where he's vulnerable here. He just presses Quill Spray. Nice snowball from Tusk is going to buy him a couple seconds to press Quill Spray some more, and that basically gets him past the dangerous part of the laning stage, which gets him to the 5-minute mark where he's pretty much by himself against Dyrachyo. There was a nice rotation from Boxy, Mickey TP's in as well, and that's going to get him first blood. That's the last time he sees a hero for a long time, because he's basically just Quill Spraying out these lanes, and then what he does afterwards is he starts pulling the creep waves into the jungle to clear stacks. So he's absolutely maximizing farm. This is the fastest way that you can farm in the early game, and he's getting completely uncontested. And then afterwards, he's going to clear these ancient stacks. He did get blocked by Gaimin Gladiators earlier, but they are eventually dewarded. He gets 500 gold from the ancients, 400 from this large camp stack. It was a huge amount of net worth, which led to a 12-minute Ags and his ultimate rotation bottom. Now, this part of the game is really crucial for what it gives to Gaimin Gladiators. By him playing this area, this is a really dangerous part of the map for the Radiant team. Most heroes just don't even touch this area. So really, the normal safe area that they take is like this. But they got a whole extra this on the map. Look how much less map space that there is on the Gaimin Gladiators side of the map. They just have less resources to collect as the game goes on. And that's solely because he was so stupidly far ahead and he was playing an incredibly tanky hero. And this ultimately culminates with them collecting more gold slowly over time, and that makes their high grounds even easier, especially when they have those saves to back him up when he does get gone on. So Bloodstone on top of that, Aegis to heal up, he's able to do damage. It just makes their game and their sieging a lot easier. It's really hard to get a net worth advantage against Gaimin Gladiators, but Liquid found a way in game number 2.
Thanks, Purge. They did. And there's one thing that we talked about before game number 2. One thing that we said Gaimin Gladiators should address, one or the other. They should either try to ban out Boxy or ban out 33. And they chose to do the latter, Tigov. They chose to try to ban out 33.
Eller Dota.
A lot of bans. We got Doom, Visage, Beastmaster, all removed from the pool, and so he got a Bristleback. And I thought he had a hero pool that was relatively small. Like they did what we said.
Yeah,
it kind of backfired.
They banned out 33, but then also kind of strategically banned themselves out of even playing the game. So I hope they find kind of some middle ground as they walk onto the stage and they can hear me. So I'll be polite and say, "Good luck, guys. You got this."
I think we want to wish all 10 players the best of luck in this third game of a best of 5 for Team Liquid. They are on match point, 2-0 up against their nemesis team, against a team that has beaten them so many times in grand finals, time and time again. Was it all just a plot to learn and grow to finally, at the grandest of stages, be able to eliminate them and to take that crown, Lacoste?
Patience is the key. They've been very patient, waiting for ages, waiting forever pretty much, because last year at TI they also got eliminated by them. So I think this team is hungry for revenge, and seems like the time has come for Team Liquid. I want to see if Quinn is ready. I want to see if he has a chewing gum in his mouth every single time he does. He's fully focused. Didn't notice it on the camera, so would like to see what he's doing right now.
I'm sure we'll get him on your screen in just a little bit. For now, we're seeing the man that has a chance of being a repeat TI champion, Effie.
He is a problem. I mean, Liquid came in full form today. They came to play. They are increasing the tempo that we've already seen dominate so many teams. They've increased it by 5 notches today, where they're making Gaimin Gladiators, a team famous for their tempo, look like they can't play into it. And it's all at the core of 33 and his hero pool and the timings that he plays on. In game 1, his Visage just created such a problem after one team fight. The net worth is reversed. In this game 2, his Bristleback just completely free farms and becomes this body that blocks off Gaimin from the rest of his team. They have to do something about him, T.
Again, the cool thing with 33 is like when we think about our 2-time TI winners, right? It's like the core of OG doing it, this core of Spirit doing it, right? But to be an individual player, to go from one team of Tundra to move to a brand new team, and then to use the systems that you maybe learned at Tundra, adopt it to Liquid, to then push them to a grand final with a single game away, like that is testament to who 33 is as a player, as a person, because normally you need, multiple layers of experience to get to this position. So yeah, again, a single game and 33 will book himself into a very elite club.
Really does. And I wonder, what is the biggest difference that we see from the previous grand finals that these two teams played, where the result was so vastly different, to this grand finals, Lacoste? Because it does feel like we see an entirely different Team Liquid on the stage here.
They learned a lot. They also have a new perspective. We said that KP joined the team, so having some new, fresh ideas, because they were always so close, but had this mental thing, I would say, when it comes down to playing against Gaimin Gladiators. And also meta does favor them. Some of the heroes that are super strong right now, 33, he is popping off. And that's why I said coming into the series that his hero pool looks small, but they also have a lot of heroes that they haven't showed yet, knowing that they had all the 2-0s in the upper bracket, so they didn't play as many matches as other teams.
Also, I feel like in the history of Liquid and Gaimin often was the team that presented their strategies, and Liquid kept adapting. It's like, oh, we need to beat the ace here, we need to beat the Quinn aggression. But this is like the first time I've seen Liquid make a statement as, this is our Dota. You draft against us. They're confident. They're not coming into the series thinking, oh,
they don't care if those picks get countered. They're challenging Gaimin to play the counter picks, and Gaimin are doing that and losing.
Yeah, I wonder, this game that we just watched, game number 2, had that Naga Siren in it, the one that we've seen banned for the majority of this event. Being able to beat it, T, surely gives a gigantic strategic advantage for Team Liquid.
I mean, we're looking at the ages. It feels like they're minutes away from potentially lifting it, and that's where strategically I agree. Naga Siren is going to be a key piece of the puzzle here. Will Gaimin ban it? Are they scared to pick it again? Honestly, if I'm Gaimin, maybe give it to Liquid. Try and show us how we just saw Naga lose. Try and beat it yourself.
Let's see if they will allow Team Liquid to have that. Let's see if they can 3-0 this grand finals, or if Gaimin Gladiator will push it to a next game. We're gonna head into this third game.
Team Liquid versus Gaimin Gladiators Grand Finals Game 3.
It is match point for Team Liquid. 2 games up here, and they will start this game 3 on the Dire side. They will have their first pick. It means Gaimin Gladiators is Radiant side, and they will have their overall last pick. And it also means that we already know what the Naga Siren will do. And we've seen the learning curve for the Tusk as well, as both Naga and Tusk, together with the Doom and the Sand King, are banned in this third game. Team Liquid, they have so far banned that Broodmother as well as the Lone Druid, and we'll follow that up with Dairatcho's Alchemist as well. But once again, for the third time in a row, Nature's Prophet, first pick by Team Liquid. Lacoste.
This is confidence. This to me says the ball is in your court. You gotta address this. You gotta do something about this Nature's Prophet. We've shown it 2 times already. You were unable to beat it. There's not gonna be Tusk this time around, so he's not gonna have that extra save, extra damage that could come out. Gaimin Gladiators, they know what's up. They need to shift things around, and I like the switch up already. I think Windranger has shown, and we've also seen from Mekke yesterday, when it's a good game for Windranger, you should pick it. And also the itemization that he did go for the Revenant's Brooch. There's still a lot of things in Dota to be explored.
And it's going to give Dyrachyo an earlier timing to play on. It's going to give him the ability to go through the gate and help his team when the side lanes are going poorly. He couldn't do that in either game. We've seen Dyrachyo just hit the jungle, come out with a minute 15 Maelstrom into BKB, collapse with his team and take a lot of objectives. I want to see that kind of playstyle out of Dyrachyo. We don't want to see him sitting back and farming on a DK for 50 minutes.
Yeah, and in the previous game, we saw elements of the strategy coming to life for Gaimin. Like when Liquid came to the high ground, there was points of pressure. Liquid had to second guess how often they could be aggressive. It was just Dyrachyo versus the world. So this time around, with the Windrunner, have some elements of, Tofu being able to make a statement. And then when Liquid comes for that inevitable death ball, be ready, have the tools to try and withstand it. Because so far, not the case.
And also just hero to hero, Wind Ranger has a very comfortable matchup against Nature's Prophet with the Windrun, with the power shot to cut through his Sprout. With the Whirlwind later on, she's always going to be able to output damage even if she's Gleipnired.
Yeah, we got a Monkey King and a Shadow Demon ban. It is Team Liquid themselves that ban out the Shadow Demon there. So 2 saving supports that we've seen so far in both games are removed. I wanted to point out that in terms of offlaners, we now do see the Bristleback removed from the pool by Gaimin themselves, but that Visage is still in. The one that we saw coming out for Team Liquid in game number 1, Visage is still in, and T-Gov, that's a Marcy.
I would love to see Liquid go for a Treant Protector now, but I'll cover that in a second. Gaimin though, with the Marcy, we used to see it a lot when it was about maybe half a year ago, because against ranged cores, you get that phase boost BKB, you get a Basher, you lock onto a ranged hero, and they don't get to play Dota. They get, half HP, 100 to 0 by the support. It also amps up the Windrunner, and it does take a bit of time though, but it's the aggression that Gaimin expect. Liquid though, like I said, the Treant Protector, I'd love this here. The Overgrowth against Windrunner, you get Maelstrom BKB, Overgrowth, you're now nullified in the fight. Wow. The speed in which Liquid want to play.
It's the same for every single game. Visage gives them that extra gold. We've seen game 1, that Visage, even though they were 7k gold down, all it takes is one good fight, suddenly your net worth is going to skyrocket because of your facet. I want to see what the pairing is going to be, if they want to go for another melee hero. So far, Boxy, the only melee hero he has played in the tournament has been Tusk, but Boxy also has different heroes that he can bring. I think Dark Willow is going to be probably contested as well when it comes down to Boxy, because what Wind Ranger wants to do, she wants to run in, and it's going to be hard to maneuver. That's why Clockwork is also going to be a strong pickup against her.
You're also comfortable putting this Clockwork on Boxy if another good support presents itself, and it creates a good lane with Visage. On the topic of Marcy, we could... I know Mirana hasn't been doing that great, but this idea of picking Mirana with Marcy and a ranged core, like amplifying her damage to the max and taking fights based off of that, could be a strategy that reemerges in this grand finals.
We did see Gaimin Gladiator go for the Mirana-Marcy combo, but they did it on the 2 support positions rather than going for that Mirana as a core. Can still be a flex. The same way that Gaimin Gladiators have played Wind Ranger as both a carry and a mid lane this event so far.
Gaimin just need to respect that their heroes do not provide damage without items. And right now, Liquid are... It's reminding Gaimin, if you do not win your lanes to enable yourself to farm, we are going to break your map. So the next 2 picks, I'd like to see them at least be able to push out the lanes or provide purpose, because I don't think going for pick-off play on Gaimin is going to help you. Even if you get pick-off, you are going to miss out.
And see what they get. The Underlord.
I mean, Underlord is the hero that you kind of default to when you're playing against push lineups. So things like Nature's Prophet and Visage that are going to run at your buildings, you can offset that with your Firestorm, with your early auras, and group up early on in the game. So it is an A specialty hero. It did lose in game 1, but it feels quite protected in this game too. There's no Bristleback in the pool. Monkey King was taken out by Team Liquid. Alchemist was taken out by Team Liquid. And the only heroes that are good against Underlord that are left in the pool aren't good in this meta. Heroes like Ursa and Slark.
You did mention, Effie, that this Clockwork can be played as a position 4. You know who's a really good position 5 player? That's Insania with his Rubik, potentially. If he wants to steal some of the spells, mostly against the Underlord, now it might be the time to bang it out.
They'll first go back for that Nisha Puck. So we'll have to wait and see what comes out in that final phase, as Mirana will be the hero picked up by Gaimin Gladiators. Again, the flex potential still there. We have seen them run this earlier. It was actually the same lane as Mirana Underlord in their second game against Tundra today?
It's a much better game style for Tofu to play a hero that's not going to be level 3, unit 7, something that can play with Quinn early on. And like I mentioned earlier, the Solar Flare as a means to buff up damage on Ring Ranger, with that also Solar Crust that's going to be bought by one of the 2 supports placed on her with the sidekick, it's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah, Quinn has to find a hero that can punish Puck in the lane. If Quinn can shut out the Puck, then there's life to Gaimin's draft. The underload will buy the auras, you'll get to the BKB timing Windrunner, and there's a game on your hand. So I'm really looking at Quinn finding the hero that can stop Puck from just blowing up this game. And of course, Sniper, Extreme Gaming, they utilize this multiple times to prevent Puck from playing the game. Quinn just needs to go, he's got the last pick, a lot of pressure on him. He has to find the hero to stop Nisha from continuing his streak of being undefeated on Puck.
Yeah, Void Spirit's still available, so I think they will still remove it, because it's a good matchup. It's also a physical damage. They want something that's going to scale, something that's going to utilize this Morana ulti, maybe even this sidekick. Most of the damage is going to be on the Wind Ranger, but we've seen 4 Protect 1 strategies not working most of the time, because you are lacking damage in this mid and late game fights.
This is where it's funny what's been going on with DK, because it's another great DK pick for Gaimin Gladiators, but every time they've run it against Liquid, they have lost. So I mean, this DK would fit the bill of the instant stun versus the Puck, a hero that takes advantage of Solar Flare like you mentioned, but I think their confidence in this hero is broken at the moment.
So much damage with the last pick as well. Dark Willow plus Visage in lane, super high damage, Clock and Nature's Prophet. They both like to play onto the map as well. It is so scary how quick Liquid can ball up and try and take the fight. Will Quinn answer this with a counter-aggressive hero? Will he have the hero that shuts down Puck in lane? Or just bring the team fight? There's so many questions that Gaimin need to answer with this last pick, but you can't answer them all with a single hero. They're going to have to choose one of the poisons and then try and cure it.
Give me Shaker or give me that Ricky again. It looks like a god-tier Ricky game one more time. They tried it, it didn't work, but this time around, they don't have the double save.
You believe in it?
I do believe in the hero. I thought that hero is going to be picked up so much more, but seems like there were other heroes available on the menu throughout the tournament. Dark Willow is the one that I did mention, where they're going to be troublous maneuvering, and you can also control the fight. So you have Cogs, you have Puck Coil, you have Dark Willow with the Terrorize, with the Bramble. So Wind Ranger needs to get it into a fight somehow pre-BKB. When it's time.
Oh. Why not? Why not, T?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, maybe they go for a Timber for another body, but the Quinn Pangalair wreaked havoc in 2023. You know, fell off a little bit in 2024, but it is a Quinn specialty. It is a hero that can buy time, that can open up the game. And that's all Gaimin really need to do. You go to a high ground or an objective defense. If the Pango and Underlord can keep the fights going, eventually the double buff up of Marcy and Morana will give Windrunner access to the fight. But it's all about buying time. Gaimin need to choose the correct fights. If they take 1 or 2 bad fights, that's it. The map's lost. You're gonna struggle so much. So a lot of pressure again on Gaimin.
The thing is, Puck is very happy to play against Pango with that Dream Coil. If you're picking this Pango, you're defaulting for comfort in this potential elimination, this potential loss at the grand finals. Give your players their best heroes, their most comfortable picks, and what this Pango will do is control the backlines in a way that he wasn't able to comfortably in the last few games. And as this backline control is happening, hopefully Duraccio just comes in as a beast with all of this damage and takes his team to a game 4.
Let's find out if we're going to have that game 4 or if we will be ready to crown a champion here at the International 2024. But before we head into that game number 3, though, we're heading over to the stage where we're hearing from Coach Blitz.
Thank you very much. I am joined by the coach of a team that is currently up 2-0. Now, this is unprecedented. Out of all of your matchups over time, you have never been up 2-0 against Gaimin Gladiators. How do you feel right now?
I mean, it hasn't really hit home yet because you still need to win the entire series. I mean, I've seen them get reverse swept by Azure, so it's just as possible. I'm trying to keep my guys as calm as possible and just tell them, like, job's not done yet.
Which is what I'm curious about, because not only is it unprecedented in terms of the history, but like for a lot of these players, being this deep in grand finals, even making it to grand finals in the first place is a new feeling for 3 out of the players on your team. How are they handling the nerves?
They're handling it great because they know that we have the best players in the world. We have Nisha, like they have no counter to that. I've been waiting for this guy to pop off against Quinn for so long and just rub it in the dirt, and it feels so good.
But talk up more of them. I mean, the rest of your team's contributing. Tell me about Boxy.
He's kind of a bot. We'll look to replace him. if Zai wants to play again wherever you are, we will take you as our 4 next year. Thank you.
Thoughts on Insania, maybe?
Again, if anybody under the age of 35 wants to play 5 for our team, it's all good. You can just play clock every game. If you can do it, just DM me on Twitter. It's all good.
Mickey?
Oh, Mickey is irreplaceable, straight up.
Hey, all right. And then 33, the only man in that booth to have his name on the Aegis.
Twice.
It's gonna happen twice, and it might just happen in this game. Let's send it on to game number 3.
So there we have it there, Blitz. Coming up with some jokes about his support. So the funny thing is, I guess this draft, so from Liquid, we are seeing indeed a bit of a change. It's not the tough Shadow Demon again this time. The cause that he was talking up there, Blitz, on his team Liquid. They're getting to play stuff that we've already seen so far this series, and it's looked pretty good, Fog.
Yep, this time I would say their draft just, it's much more aggression. Last time we saw multiple different saves and stuff like that. This time, it's all out, just go, go, go time. But Gaimin, they've got a very formidable draft. They've got Quinn on his signature Pango that he's been waiting to bust out here. They've got this Wind Ranger with tons of amplification from the Solar Flare, from the Marcy. We should be in for a treat for this one.
We
Let's
absolutely
hope so.
should. Hopefully indeed. 2-0 at the moment, Liquid. Just this one game that stands between them and claiming that championship title here at the International 2024. Can Gaimin Gladiators turn these things around? And as you say, yeah, the Quinn Pango coming in last. I mean, as talked about by the panel, obviously a comfort pick for Quinn, but also on paper, looking at the matchups, a good game for the Pango in general, or what do you sort of see the future being for Quinn this game?
Just has to really watch out for the puck coils for the most part inside this early game. Besides that, there's no real BKB piercing disable. Once he gets rolling in most of these fights, he's gonna just be able to kind of commit forward there. So just has to watch out for those early initiations that come out from the puck, the silence in particular. But yeah, it can look like a very, very good Pango game if he's able to get through that type of stage of these silences. Dyrachyo, let's see how he's able to sustain, because Boxy and 33, they've been menaces with this Visage combo.
Yeah, look how low Dyrachyo is. He's got to be careful sneaking around the trees here. Boxy is hunting for him.
He's got power. I mean, Boxy might just be able to find him.
If he could get 2 more hits in, he'll pretty much have him. The Tango regen starting to kick in for Dyrachyo. I mean, either way, it's pretty painful being forced right back from the lane.
All right, Celery, you're farming under the tower now.
All right, Celery moving up to the carry. I mean, in the past we have had Wind Ranger support. I mean, we'll see how much of a hit that sort of takes to him at this early first wave or so that Dyrachyo just gets completely forced away from.
He got every last hit, Owen. Celery got 8 of them.
He's ready.
He literally got every single one of those last hits. So even though the Wind Ranger got 0, he did ensure to get those. And he's level 2. Dyrachyo is only level 1, but they do have that power spike of the 2 now on the Marcy. Very well done there from Celery.
And this bottom lane, they've got to be so careful again. This Boxy 33 Dark Willow Visage duo. We've seen 33's Visage. If he starts to get these kills, get that gold advantage, this hero, especially in 33's hands, gets completely out of control.
Does get that Shadow Realm off. They've got the level 2s. Dyrachyo has to be super careful. If that was level 2 Boxy, that's probably a kill on Dyrachyo there, because they would have had those brambles.
Yeah, he has to be so careful here, Dyrachyo. Whilst Liquid have this XP advantage against him in the lane.
It's tough to look away from here. We are able to glance toward the mid right now. We see Quinn doing very good in that matchup versus Nisha. Brambles come out bottom, doesn't catch Dyrachyo, but Celery put low. A second Soul Assumption.
It's a lot of damage. The hit from the Shadow Realm of the Soul Assumption. It's set up. First blood for 33. As I say, you got to keep an eye on how much money this lad's going to be able to make from this lane. Getting a first blood, getting actions with the Soul Assumptions. This could be tough for Gaimin Gladiators down here.
It could definitely be tough to Dyrachyo in particular. When you mess up your first wave like this, and you have to just bring so much extra regen, it is tough to kind of recover when Visage just gets so much extra gold. You can bring all this extra mana regen to keep getting this spam going. And overall for Wind Ranger in this game, now that we can look at a little bit of hesitation for a moment that he's not dying, there's a insane amount of magical burst for this hero. Not the tankiest if you get off to a little bit of a tough start. If they just throw constant nukes onto her early, could be difficult for Dyrachyo.
Quite the recovery required. 3 minutes in, just 4 last hits here so far that Dyrachyo's been able to find in the safe lane.
I can't even look elsewhere. I keep trying to look to a different lane to see how they're doing, but yeah, they just keep getting put so low, and the wave's going to push out again.
Nothing so far on the other side of the map. Mickey, 15 for 4 against the 7 for 3. Another lane in which Gaimin Gladiators having a bit of a slower start when it comes to the farm in the core matchup.
This is the power of this Nature's Prophet with this tree. And the Mirana in general can't really apply too much pressure up here. You can try to like arrow this tree and stuff like that. Being able to slow down the farm of Mickey, it's going to take quite a bit longer. Maybe when level 3 comes out onto Ace, they can look to start putting a little more aggression. But it's very good lanes kind of across the board from Liquid. It's just Quinn having that advantage in mid.
He's got to do a lot on his Pango. Well, we have seen him in the past really pop off when he gets a good start on the Pango layer. He's going to have to do something crazy this game because, yeah, the openings on the side lanes, pretty much the rougher ones that Gaimin Gladiators have had so far this series.
It's wild to see how much last hits the supports have. Of course, we mentioned Celery with the 10 that he had from those first 2 or 3 waves, but also Tofu's just been arrowing creeps and also getting some himself. So the CS looks pretty bad on the cores, but at the least they do have a couple extra on those supports.